face
in your house. Paper. Hello, Morons. We are live. We are in the air everywhere. We got a show for you. My name is Zach.
I am Carl.
I'm Jake, and we're the Three Morons podcast.
So what are we going to start off with today, Jake?
We're starting off with the NFL, and we're jumping right into about the new rule, kickoff rules. So basically, they call it the dynamic kickoff. It's basically where they start off, and it's a little different. We normally start off with kicking the 35, which stayed the same, but instead of beginning the kickoff right away, they got 9 players from each team standing on the 40-yard line. Then they got 2 players standing in the landing zone, which is basically a landing zone from the receiving team's goal line to the 20-yard line. They got 2 players standing in there and then the play does, and players on the 40-yard line do not move until the ball either hits the landing zone or the player catches it. So, and there's the different touchback rules. So if the ball hits the end zone and rolls in the back, it goes up to the 30-yard line.
Okay.
But if it hits the landing zone, then rolls in the back of the end zone, 20-yard line.
As opposed to the 25 as it was before for a touchback.
Exactly.
And a punt.
So, and there's no onside kicks until the fourth quarter until at least you're trailing. Then you gotta let the refs know, hey, we're onside kicking.
Right.
So what are you guys' thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, one, let's just be glad they're doing it now. There would be no Devin Hester in the Hall of Fame.
Pretty much the gate.
But at the same time, I mean, I understand we're worried about player safety. I totally understand.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, you're taking away a significant aspect that a lot of these players, like Dixon, who plays for the Packers,
yeah,
you're taking them away, and you're trying to make them more dynamic with also making the game safer, right? Because now if they don't move until you touch, now you got to block differently.
Yep.
So there might be more holes open. You're making it more special teams.
Yeah.
For special teams, special plays, special players, right? Tuesday. But
right.
No, shout out Sketch, right?
Yep.
But no, I mean, you're doing that, but also you're changing the game and changing the dynamic where that could also take away a lot of the things. Because like if you fair catch it at like the 10 or 5, isn't it more beneficial now? At least in the college game, it's more beneficial to fair catch it there than you go to the 25.
Pretty much.
So you're changing the game, you're taking it away, but at the same time, you're also adding safety and also making special teams a little more impactful. I don't like the whole onside kick. I think you should be able to go whenever you want. That's how you got that Super Bowl with was it the Colts and the Saints?
Yeah.
Where he went for an onside kick. Champagne went for an onside kick right out of halftime.
Yep.
Unshocking. Now you know you can only go for it if you're losing, and you can only do it in the fourth quarter when everyone goes for it at that time. So you're taking away shock factor in that part.
But my other take on that would be, my other side of that would be, how more dynamic would it be for that team to get that onside kick now? It's going to make that part much more special. So that would be my only thought on that. But if you want to continue, because I got a little bit.
No, you can. I was pretty much done with my take.
Okay. So basically, the NFL said that they were going to get away with the special teams rules, like because of safety. The wedge blocking, I mentioned this on another podcast, was causing a lot of injuries: ACL tears, shoulders, knees, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, basically. And I know that was a kid's reference, but people were getting
or a shampoo commercial,
or shampoo. Troy Polamalu, where you at, baby?
Pat Mahomes.
So, getting back to that. So they got rid of that, and now basically you took special teams out of the game. Now you're bringing it back, and I'm just trying to figure out where the NFL is coming from. What are we trying to do here? Why didn't we just leave it the way it was before you changed it?
Yeah, and why say, hey, we're doing safety, we're doing this, but then take away a good aspect of it? Because a lot of players, but a lot of coaches make the name a special team and move up to defense and move up to other coordinators as well.
Our Green Bay's special teams coach is one of the best in the league. He was the head coach of the Raiders. Probably shouldn't have lost his job, but that's neither here nor there. A lot of good special teams coordinators over the years. The Cowboys one from back in the 90s was one of the better ones of the league. We could go on and on about different teams over the years. But why don't we talk about the Bears special teams coach when Devin Hester was there? That was a gym in itself.
Exactly. And this, when you take that away, you might as well not even have a special teams coordinator for the most part. Because now there's nothing to playing. It's just,
No.
hey, go out there, block, try to get the guy with the ball. You can't run until he touches it. So, I
Right.
mean, good luck.
And
Before, you had to worry about angles and stuff because if they're
And I
coming up,
mean-
you take the wrong angle. Now there's no one behind. There's a whole wall in front of you now.
right. And go ahead, Jake.
And I think another one they strongly, because the video I watched before the podcast, is that they strongly wanted more returners. Last year, their
Yeah.
returns was very low. They mainly told the kicker on the kickoff team, kick it straight out of fucking bounds.
Yeah.
That was their main goal the entire time. So why they did the dynamic kickoff was to promote more returns, more dynamic returns, to bring back the exciting part of the returns.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I did see a couple of the preseasons,
Yeah.
and where they, and I mean, he did move up the field to like the 30-yard line, so you're gonna get past the.
Yeah.
If you don't kick it in the end zone, you're gonna get past the 25 to the 30.
Right.
So you got that, but now it's harder for the defense as well to stop them if they're starting at the 35, 30 every time versus the 20 and 25.
Right. And my thing now is that we can bring this adds another element to it. It's going to enable struggling offenses that maybe take a couple of first downs to get going. You know, let's say they always got it at the 25. Get a couple of first downs, you still got to punt at the 45. Now you get it automatically, kind of get out to about the 30, 35. You get 20 yards, you're putting yourselves into the 45-yard line. You're going to start going for it now.
And now
If
you're
in the other
closer to field goal
and now you're
range.
getting closer to field goal range. So this is going to really have a ripple effect, I think, this season coming up. And it's going to make defenses play harder too.
Exactly.
And I think that's good for the game in itself. But at the same time, like, we have special teams for a reason. Why get rid of kickers, punters, kick returners, punt returners?
And also, like the video I watched, also had 3 different special team coordinators from the Saints, Cowboys, and the Bears on there, and their perspectives.
The Bears guy, huh? I wonder why.
Right?
Oh, you coach Devin Hester. We want your opinion. My opinion, let them run.
Exactly.
And their opinion and their perspective, why they want to do this, and like their main help. And I thought it was actually pretty cool. And I think I like this new dynamic rule because it brings back excitement to the kick return, excitement to the kickoff.
And it's a 1-year trial. If it doesn't work, they're going to scrap it.
Well, we'll see. I
But I
guess
think
when
it
the
will
season
work.
starts, we'll see how good the returners are and stuff. So
If you're struggling in that game that's like 7-3, 10-6, we'll just say a low scoring game. You need that play to get this team going. Why not have your punt returner get you? And that's gonna, if it's a home team, it's gonna get the fans back into the game. Yeah. Like, so much is riding on like special teams nowadays. I told Jake this earlier in the week. You're very much like in other sports. You're taking away the power play out of hockey.
and
out of
what
the way.
they took away shifting in baseball.
Yes. And you're also it's basically saying that free throws don't matter in basketball. It's kind of what we're talking about. Kind of, if you don't really follow what we're talking about, other sports we can kind of relay. That's what
Take away
like.
the pyramid cheerleading. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
So
But special teams are part of football. We wouldn't have this part of football if they weren't there to begin with. Like punting. Like, to me, I was the best coffee quarter punter on Madden. Now you can tell all my friends back in Florida, I kicked the crap out of that ball. Almost said the S word, sorry. I loved that part of Madden. Remember, you had those games where you throw it through the rings and everything like that.
I can
Like,
throw it through the rings.
throw through the rings, catch, doing all these sorts of things. My thing was coffin corner kick. I got better at playing Madden. Doing that pissed a lot of people off. But special teams, I think, needs to stay in the game. And I think this rule needs to stay going forward because I'm already on board with returners and stuff.
Right. Anything else on this topic?
No, I covered all the bases.
All right. Since we're with the NFL, let's stay with the NFL. A couple of, I guess, no moves yet, but a couple of notes. One, CeeDee Lamb, no urgency to sign him. What do you think about that with Jerry Jones?
Can't see him. I think that's red flag.
I think sell the team. All right, sell the team. You're getting rid of your best receiver. I mean, yes, you got Ferguson, who's good. You got some people behind it, but you're going to get rid of Dak's best weapon, and you think you're going to get better with Ezekiel in the backfield?
And there's talk, and probably more so than that Dak's walking in free agency.
Yeah, if you get rid of his best player, why not?
Right.
And I think what they should do is, it brings up to this other guy, Brandon Ayuk. Trade him. Because Brandon Ayuk will sign a contract with the Dallas Cowboys. At least you're going to get something out of CeeDee Lamb. 49ers are going to get CeeDee Lamb. Just trade him straight up because if you're not interested in giving him the money, Brandon Ayuk will take less money and come in and be the number one guy. And he's okay. I mean, he's not the star that CeeDee Lamb might be, but
I gotta add something to it because it's like, okay, let's say CeeDee Lamb doesn't want 90 million, he wants 100 million. Brandon Ayuk take 90 million, give it to me.
Brandon, look, I'll go out there and do it for 2 million. Okay.
Well, we mentioned Brandon Ayuk a lot of times in the last couple of weeks. We're gonna keep talking about him until he gets moved.
And it's funny, he doesn't have a no trade.
Yeah.
But it's funny, he has a no trade clause. He doesn't have a no trade clause. So he really can't decide, but he can. I was reading this. He can decide because he has to sign with the new team for it to be valid.
Yes.
So he doesn't want to go to Cleveland. And it's funny because Amari Cooper's like, I don't want to be here. You can trade me to the 49ers. Yeah, who wouldn't want to be with the 49ers?
Right. That's what my...
And Ayuk, I think, wants to be with the 49ers. It's just they've been dragging their foot on a deal. He's just like, you know what? Get rid of me then. I don't think it's he doesn't want to be there. He's just like, I'm tired of the games with you guys.
Yeah, he's not a slouch. He knows that this team is a Super Bowl contender, which we'll bring up later in the show about our top 5 Super Bowl contenders. But let's be honest, San Francisco is a good spot if you want to win a championship right now. No, let's just be honest. And he's not dumb. He knows he can probably win there. But like you're saying, they're dragging their feet. They don't really want to sign him.
And I think they're offering way too less money.
Yeah.
That they could have offered more. But I mean, like you said, dragging, like we both said just now, dragging their feet.
Yep. That's
the problem. These NFL owners like, oh, we're going to find somebody else. We can find somebody else. Well, this late in the season for Jerry Jones, you're not going to find another CeeDee Lamb.
No, not at all.
Unless you want to trade for Brandon Ayuk. Go get him.
Right.
And at least you will have a good player. Because Brock Purdy even struggled when there was no Brandon Ayuk. When Brandon Ayuk came back and he still didn't have the other weapons, at least his numbers were good.
Just hypothetically, CeeDee Lamb's a 49er, Brandon Ayuk's a Cowboy. Just throw that into a one-dimensional world. It's not that hard to learn their offenses compared to what Mike McCarthy and Kyle Shanahan are doing. It's not that far off. So these guys could make differences right away. It might take them a week to kind of get their footing on the offense, but these guys are smart.
It'll take them a while to get clicked.
Yeah.
For CeeDee Lamb to get clicked that he might not be the number one guy because Deebo Samuel. And for Brandon Ayuk to take over the number one spot and to get clicked with their quarterbacks.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because you're in the NFL, you're a star receiver, you're smart. You're going to understand the playbook. Receiving is not hard for learning routes, right? No. You know what a route is, a Y route is, a hot route. You know what those routes are. You know what a 1, a 10, a 9, you know what those are. So it's not hard. It's universal from high school on up. They know how to do the routes. Maybe a little bit different for blocking schemes when you're a blocker, when you're doing this. But at the same time, it's more about the chemistry with the quarterback that's going to take you a while.
Yeah.
A chemistry with the coaches and the other teams. So I think that'd be a good thing. I know that Brandon Ayuk's name is being thrown out there for the Steelers, the Browns, and the Patriots that we've heard.
Patriots was one.
Where do you think, if he leaves, where do you think he's going?
Ooh. Now that I'm thinking about it, would he go to Dallas knowing that Dak might leave? They would have to sell him some pretty good money.
I think Dak would stay if Ayuk comes in and they start treating their receivers right.
You also got to think.
Because where's Dallas is Dak going to go where they can win? Because where they have quarterbacks, they have receivers.
Yeah.
You also got to think Ayuk wants to win the Super Bowl. So I got to think what team can be a Super Bowl contender.
Right.
Also.
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, and I'm going to keep pounding this horse, Dallas is always a Super Bowl contender until the playoffs start. I mean, they're always in it lately, but once they get in the playoffs, they just can't produce.
No.
And I don't know who that says more about. Dak, which he played decent against the Packers. The defense, who played horrible against the Packers. Mike McCarthy, but then you change the coach. It's the same thing.
That was a team I heard this week that might try to get him. It was Kansas City.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he'd be the number one easily there.
Yeah, definitely. Now that I also heard, this is off topic of Brandon Ayuk, Shu Smith-Schuster.
Oh, yeah, he got cut. I was going to bring that up. He got cut by the Patriots.
Buffalo could use Ayuk.
They're going to go with Keon Coleman. And Josh Allen has got a hard on for that guy. Sorry, but he does.
I mean, I think, and my thing is, if you're going to go to the AFC, you're not going outside for right now, the Ravens or the 49ers or the Chiefs. Because those are the top two.
What about Detroit?
Right.
What about Detroit?
I can see them going to Detroit. Yeah. They are playoff contenders.
But-
You already have Amon St. Brown taking that number 1 spot. You have Laporta as the tight end, and then you have Ayuk coming in. He could easily be the number 2.
Yeah.
And then you still have a solid number 3. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I can't think of the other guy. That was
Oh, I
there.
mean, it's ridiculous to see how many weapons the Lions have, and they haven't even scratched the surface on what they have yet.
I can see him going to Minnesota. Could bring him in. If Minnesota should try. I mean, Green Bay should try. There's a lot of teams that should
I
definitely.
think there's about
try.
20 to 22 teams. I know that's kind of narrowed down. About 20 teams that could
Hey,
probably
my
use
Denver
him.
Broncos could bring them in. We might not.
But
do
he
anything with
ain't
them.
gonna go there.
No,
Um,
no.
Hey, we might not do anything with them, but hey.
But like I can
Oh,
see anyone. Well, not the Bears.
We're
Because
watching.
they got enough receivers. But
Yeah,
any 3 of the NFC North teams, they're contenders.
yeah.
I think the whole NFC North on paper is contenders.
Yeah,
They
I'll go
all
with that.
got better. They all not all, but like the veteran and all that stuff of the Green Bay. Yeah, not a lot of veterans, but they had playing time last year.
Minnesota's going for youth right now.
Minnesota, the quarterback position is going to be a question this year, but you have a great offense. You got Hawkinson, you got JJ Jefferson, you got Aaron Jones now. So you bring in an Ayuk, boom, done. Offense is set. And then you got the Lions, who you bring in Ayuk, they're better. And then of course the Bears just got better, so you're not going to go after anyone.
You'd have 4 really good receivers.
If you brought in Ayuk, who's sitting on the bench?
I don't know.
Right.
You're not going to sit
You're not-
Keenan Allen. You're not going to sit DJ Moore. Do you really want to sit?
Roma Dunze for
yeah,
Brandon
Dunze.
Ayuk. Dunze's
Umuze.
probably. I'm telling you, probably Roma Dunze is going to be
Dak
better than all
chokes
them
in the
guys.
playoffs. Yeah, we just talked about that. Yeah. Take it there.
And he said JJ will start week 3 for the Vikings.
Yeah, well, it ain't gonna be much on what's the Sam Darnold seeing ghosts out there. As long as you see
Right.
ghosts during the Packer game, I'll be okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Another team I thought about was Philly.
I can see that. Jalen Hurts does need another. I mean,
You got AJ Brown and you got Devontae Smith. Yeah, not much else back there behind them.
it's gonna be hard to see where he actually signs off. And you know the 49ers want something back for him.
well,
Something big.
Pittsburgh wanted them to get a receiver. Like you're gonna give us like San Francisco wanted a Pittsburgh receiver. Like
And they probably don't want to give up. I mean, they don't.
no,
The thing is, if you're getting Ayuk, you don't really have a receiver to give.
what about the Bengals? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
That's
we were-
cool, and
we were
that's a
talking
good
about not
point,
doing
and
that.
that's fine. So yeah, you don't really have a receiver to give. If he goes to the Bengals, you give up. Not Higgins. Who's this?
yeah. You give up Higgins.
You give up Higgins.
Higgins is gonna,
Even trade Higgins for Ayuk. They're
Yeah,
both
yeah.
number 2s. Give them up because the Bengals have a good tight end. They already have
Chase.
Chase.
Who's the
You're
other
not
one?
going to get Chase and Higgins and Ayuk.
Mm-mm. Well, Higgins is wanting to leave anyway. They've been franchise tagging him, and it's only like everybody's saying he might go to Houston because he's from the Houston area. But Houston's got all these weapons down there now.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see that play out.
He's gonna go to an off the wall team where we're gonna be like, really? We built this up just for that?
He went to the Colts.
Went to the Colts or the Titans. That's it.
All right, so let's go into the list this real quick.
Okay.
Since we're talking about the NFL, let's go into our top 5 Super Bowl contenders.
Dun, 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 dun.
Now, I
Bum,
want to
bum,
say we
bum,
probably
bum.
have a consensus number 1,
Kansas
but
City.
I'm gonna do a Vince McMahon. I'm gonna shake things up a bit.
We're gonna
I do
shake
not
this.
have Kansas City at number 1.
I don't have a list. I don't have a top 5. I
It's
just
more
have
like a
5
big
teams.
board, like a big board,
I have
right?
a big board. But
It's
I
a big board. We don't rank them.
I got a surprise pick, but I'm gonna save that. For
I
the
got one that's gonna shock everybody, shock the world, as I would say.
shock the world.
So,
What is it,
so
Vic?
do we want to shock the world first, or do we want someone else to go first? That's not going to
You go
shock the
first.
world. I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Ladies first.
Do the
Ladies
shock
first,
the world
sure.
last, though. I want you to do the shock the world.
So I'm going to do a big board then. If we're going to shock the world,
we can do big word list this top 5. It doesn't. It's pretty much
but in no particular order.
okay, Dancing with the Stars.
But I don't. But I do have. I do have. I will tell you this. My number 1 Super Bowl pick, and the only reason I did not pick the Chiefs is because I think this team is dynamic in the passing. They're great defense, and they're going to have a great run game. I think the Ravens are number 1 right now. They have great coaching. They're so close. Lamar last year proved he doesn't need a pass, won the MVP. I think they're going to get it done with Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
I think they can get it done
until otherwise proven.
until he gets hurt.
I
mean-
don't think Henry. Yeah, I got hurt a couple of years ago. He's been mainly
But
healthy.
that's what I'm saying. Unless he gets hurt. So I think the Ravens are up there. The Chiefs are up there.
You got to throw the Chiefs. Everybody
The
knows the Chiefs are gonna-
49ers are up there. I think also going on up there, and this might be a little shocker, I think that you got the Bengals up there as well. I think they come back. They have a great year. Possibly the Jets in that area with Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yep.
But here's why I'm going to put a Super Bowl pick based on paper, based on how they should perform, because history was made this year.
Mm-hmm.
Where the best, the number one quarterback overall got put in the best situation you could be in. I think the Bears last year had a great defense. They won the last 8 out of 9 games or something. Like they won great down the line. They performed well. So I think you get the Bears could easily push for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Easily put. Now I don't think they're going to cross. That's why they're like number 5 on this list. That's the shock of the world. They're number 5. I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but I think they can make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Easily. Easily make the playoffs. Because as long as Caleb Williams plays well, as long as that line can protect them. And I was watching it this weekend because I was in Chicago, so they're playing it. And drunken Jim Miller and everyone. He's not throwing, or he's not running to run. He's running to throw. He's not running for his life just to run. When he's on the run, he's looking down the field to throw. You didn't have that with Mitch. When he got out of the pocket, he ran. You didn't have that with Justin Fields. When he got out of the pocket, he ran. Caleb Williams is looking to throw the ball when he gets out of the pocket.
He's buying time for his legs.
Exactly.
His legs,
and who else did that? Aaron Rodgers has done that. You had Brett Favre doing that. You have Jordan Love doing that. You have all the good quarterbacks doing that. Peyton Manning. I mean, they don't run fast, right?
Yeah,
No.
Tom Brady would run out, but looking to throw. But he's doing what you need to do, what great quarterbacks do. So as long as he keeps it in, because that line still not protect very well when he was in, which means they were playing a first string line. Because DJ Moore and them were playing.
Right.
So when you have those visuals, that looks good.
Yeah.
Now, as long as you keep
Bears shock. Bears big shock.
as I just said, the big board.
Jake or me?
Someone.
Okay, I have 6.
The big board.
Big board.
No particular order. Eagles. I think they're gonna be back up there. I think they got their defense figured out, and their offense is pretty decent.
But the offensive line is what kept me with Jason Kelsey and
Yes.
other people.
Yep.
The other guy, Lane, I think. Lane Johnson.
Yeah. I don't know.
You got the Bills.
Yeah.
Bills can be a decent option. I'm not saying they might make it, but it's a decent option.
I can see it.
They got to.
But it's just the offense, right? With no Stephon Diggs and stuff like that.
It's just the offense. Defense on the otherwise solid. Solid defense.
Jury's still out about what the Jets can do, but they're going to have a tough division opponent in Miami. They got to take down.
Detroit.
Okay.
Then you got Kansas City. Then, of course, you got the Ravens. Then you got San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean,
those are big, solid teams.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Carl's going to have Kansas City and 49ers too.
There's all the teams the top 3 teams that have everything that can be put together and win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
I know the Bears, like I said, was a shock because they do have what you have on paper.
Yeah.
Again, it's putting it together. It's proving it, right?
Right.
That's always going to be the case. Like
having chemistry.
right, like these other teams have already proven it. The Bears have to.
Yeah. And let's say if they don't.
It's hard as a Packer fan to say that.
No, wife's a Bears fan, so yeah. The thing that I know the Chicago Bears this season this offseason, they got weapons. They got a quarterback. Now next season, you have that money. Go get your offensive line. Defense was stout the last half of the season. You brought that up. That was one of the main reasons why they went on the run.
Montez Sweat, the first person to lead 2 teams in sacks that year, which is bad at how bad these teams were at sacks. He had 10 with the damn Commanders, and he had 20 with the Bears.
Yeah,
that's just how bad they were. Those were the 2 worst teams in sacks.
And they didn't get pressure on the quarterback, but their secondary, all this other stuff. Jordan Love, didn't look great, but he did good enough to win that last game of the season to get Green Bay into the playoffs.
And then he did great in that first game.
The first game, and then San Francisco, questionable decision, but San Francisco.
I think the San Francisco is more coaching decisions and going forward and this and that than it was Jordan Love.
Right. So my big board. I have 6 teams. So we already mentioned the Chiefs. Like, we don't really need to go into depth about them. You have Mahomes, you have Kelsey, you have Andy Reid, you have a defense that's playing stout. We don't really need
until proven otherwise. They're always favored.
And they have the highest paid kicker.
7 and barely make the playoffs.
That's what they did last year.
Right. And then what happened? Boom.
They can go 9-8, barely make the playoffs. Still be a Super Bowl.
Was it 11-6?
Patriots.
Patriots.
That's what the Patriots did.
So, and Harrison Butker is a great kicker, and he's the highest paid kicker in the league.
In my opinion, I stand with Harrison Butker.
Lions was another team. We already know about Jared Goff, all that. What? Nobody agrees with me on the Lions?
No, I agree with you.
I agree
Why?
with you. I think they have a potential.
You don't agree with me on the Lions?
No, I agree with you on the Lions. It's just, we had a visitor.
Okay. The way you looked at me. Oh, no. She just derailed her podcast a little bit, didn't she?
Just a little bit. But
Okay.
anyway,
All right.
I was just making a smile.
And then the 49ers, we touched on that a little bit. The Bengals, Ravens, I agreed. So my surprise pick was, y'all are going to laugh, but I'll say my piece, and then y'all can make fun of me. I picked the Atlanta Falcons.
Kirk Cousins.
No, either quarterback was an upgrade. Either one of these guys gets in there. You have a strong running game. Receivers, you have somewhat of a decent offense. That team was missing a quarterback last year. Defense is still maybe a little subpar, but if they get going and stay healthy, this is a very weak NFC South, I think. Minus Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Try to get this team. They could be that team that gets. This could be a team that challenges for the future. We're getting told technical difficulties. So.
We're getting told there's a ticking sound, like a crocodile over here.
So, I'd like to shout out that Mr. Google's birthday is today. He is a wise 48 years young today. Happy birthday to Mr. Google. You want to help me say happy birthday to Mr. Google?
Happy birthday, Mr. Google!
Bother.
We're gonna do a little plug here while we're fixing the technical difficulties with the ticking over here. I just want to shout out to B&L Creative Designs. Again, B&L Creative Designs on Facebook for all your woodworking needs. They got planter boxes, cutting boards, jewelry boxes. They do birdhouses, anything small for woodworking, sign shipping. If you can get $15. I got my hand right now. To medical expenses, as one of the owners does have cancer. So we are so we're pretty much in all agreement about the Chiefs, their Bills, but you Falcons, I think that's a good pick. Here's the thing: Kirk Cousins get hurt. I think they have one of the better quarterbacks. The draft that people overlooked was Penix. I think he's pretty good.
I think another surprise pick is the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
the Buccaneers.
Yes.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Baker Mayfield.
We got Mike Evans back there.
Dude,
Fire the cannons.
They got to go up against the Falcons. They're not going to beat the Falcons, bro.
They don't have much competition besides the Falcons. You think the Commanders?
But that defense, Winfield has dropped and everything.
Saints and the Panthers. Well, let's just face it.
Come on,
Saints or the Panthers?
the Panthers. Come on, man. Don't sleep on Bryce Young over there.
Right. Well, the main reason why I went with the Atlanta Falcons, not because so much of a weak division, but let's say you beat up on these teams. That gives you that momentum. That gives you that confidence to go out there and play. And then when you play these tougher teams, you can say, well, they didn't play anybody. But yeah, but they have the confidence of winning.
Weren't the Falcons in to win the division last year?
Yeah.
And if they had Kirk Cousins, they would have won by a while.
Yeah.
They were landslide, I think, because they had that quarterback.
That's not a slouch to Tampa Bay last year. Tampa Bay had division and was able to win a playoff game. Could have, would have, should have against Detroit, whatever. And, who knows what happens after that. I mean, Tampa Bay is no slouch. I'm not
saying a slouch.
No, I'm not degrading Tampa Bay.
The Falcons
got better. They could challenge Tampa Bay. And I could honestly, Jake brings up a good point. One of those two teams could come out of the NFC South as maybe a Super Bowl threat. Who knows? We don't know. I don't think Bryce Young's going to win the Super Bowl in the second year, and if he did, I'll go get a jersey.
I'm going to get that Super logo tatted on my butt, okay, if that happens.
But he's not that bad of a
I want to see
quarterback.
that.
He just doesn't have a lot around him. And I don't even know what the Saints are doing right now. I don't even know what their
I don't
direction
even
is.
know who their quarterback is.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. yeah.
That's about Alvin Kamara. That's about it as far as the Saints.
Don't they have Michael Thomas?
No.
He's the Kawhi Leonard of the NFL, dude. He gets hurt. He's out for 2 seasons. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock Kawhi Leonard, but he left my San Antonio Spurs. So
I thought he got released.
Should I start laughing like him?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I don't know if he did or not. We can look it up. We have phones.
Who, Michael Thomas? Did he get released already?
I thought he got released because he got suspended.
Anyway, while he looks that up, do you want to do the Olympics? What do you guys want to do now?
Or do you want to stick with football for a little bit?
We got more stuff?
We could break. We could go NFL all night if we really wanted to.
That's true.
But
Thomas is a free agent. Man, the mighty have fallen.
we can kind of go into the game this week if you want. I mean, this was a part of the schedule.
Yeah, let's go over the games. I forgot about that. Who did you like? Who impressed? What little you saw?
I wasn't going to go off of what happened last week. I just said who's our team's going to be playing this week. Because I didn't see anything. I did. Did I hear that Marquise Godwin got hurt?
Did you? I didn't hear that. He might have though.
I haven't heard too many injuries coming. I mean, I still follow kind of Tampa Bay because, living down in Florida, they've had a couple of injuries down there, but nothing too severe. Patriots beat the Panthers 17-3.
How did Brissett do?
Brissett, he went. Yes, we are just looking this up on the fly, ladies and gentlemen.
Some of it we kind
0
of
for
knew.
3. So yeah, really great. I could Jacoby Brissett. Give me $250,000.
Well, that means he played literally one series and they threw the whole time.
Hey, so go ahead and give me $250,000. I'll throw incomplete passes and I'll collect my paycheck.
I know. Who was it? It was the Broncos. Not the Broncos. Not the Broncos coach, but Texans. Right on Saturday. Yeah. CJ Stroud played a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He did. I heard he did okay. For what he played, got a touchdown. But what about what do you think about Let me pull up what's his name.
Next Sunday it's Broncos Packers.
Broncos Packers. Well,
we going? I was kidding.
Where's it at?
It's in Denver.
It's a little too far.
A little too far.
Lambeau's farther, I think.
Might be.
Real quick, I did see this though for the Steelers. Justin Fields.
Didn't he have like a fumble?
He was 5 for 6 for 67 yards.
That's not bad.
He did pretty good, right?
But didn't he have like a fumble or a couple of fumbles?
Did he have a fumble? Let's see. Justin Fields had a fumble and he recovered one, but didn't. How do you have 2 fumbles, recover one, but didn't lose the other one?
Somebody else recovered it.
Oh yeah.
Bo Nix isn't too bad.
I'm going to look up. Well, if we want to, we can go off the top 25. I know we wanted to bring that up.
I know Ken Williams did pretty good. I saw some of, like I said, he did a little shovel pass. They got 40-something yards.
He went 15 to 21, 125 and a touchdown.
It's not bad.
Jared Stidham, 4-7, 37 yards and a pick.
Who did it?
What were we talking about again?
Did the Falcons play this weekend?
Yeah, everybody played.
Did he play yesterday?
I don't know.
Because I want to know how Penix did. I think Penix did pretty good. I know Daniel, or was it Daniels? Yeah, Jaden Daniels did pretty good for the Redskins. He did all right.
Penix, 9 of 16, 1 of 4, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks.
Okay, so he did all right. 9 of 16. Is it ticking or?
Not ticking, not bad.
Well, you may need to warn somebody when you go and crawl over the table like that. It makes you think that you're going to do stuff.
He's going to lunge.
He's going to lunge.
Anyone watching at home, please comment if you have anything else. I think we only have 3 watchers right now. I think 2 of them are in this house.
I think all 3 of them are in this house. No, they don't have their tablet. Never mind. They would be. So we'll go off the top 25 here in a second. It's cold take time.
Oh, cold take time. Cold take.
And I guess we got a little bit of a. I think we got a little bit of a preview. It's top 3. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna figure it out. I think you get to read the cold take next time. He picked me to read it tonight.
Okay, that's cool. Mr. Google wants. He knows I can't read. Hip hop.
Damn
You give him all the easy ones.
He literally did. Like, I don't think I could have spelled hip hop.
I still can't spell hippopotamus.
Hip-hop anonymous.
I have to sing the banana song. This is bananas. To spell banana, I have to sing that Gwen Stefani song. So I'm just saying.
Bananas,
Okay, so if he wants to text me, he can. So I'm gonna go off of either it's top 3 or your favorite fair food.
Favorite fair food. Probably top 3 fair food, I would
We'll go with
imagine.
that top 3.
Ooh, my top 3: deep fried Oreos, funnel cake, and it's not food, it's drink, but it's lemonade.
Okay.
Like freshly squeezed lemonade.
Freshly squeezed lemonade.
No, Minute Time.
Minute time.
Minute Maid.
Minute
No,
Maid.
it's
Country
a-
Time.
No, it's
Country
a
time.
freshly squeezed homemade lemonade every time at a fair.
Thank you, Mr. Google, for the top 3.
Fair foods.
I honestly thought there was a dollar bill in here. This is pretty thick envelope.
Dollar, bling, bling. Cut your check.
So,
What about you? Favorite fair
that's what it
food?
says. If people can read out there, favorite food. So,
Vanna White.
oh man, wait here.
Vanna White.
He's in there watching it too, and he's just like looking at me weirdly. Italian sausage.
At a fair? I've never been at a fair that Italian. Maybe I just haven't searched it out because it's not my favorite fair food.
Well, he touched on the deep fried Oreos. I've never. They had deep fried Snickers.
No,
I've
no.
always wanted to try that.
They also have
Yes, they do have
freshly-
deep fried candy bars at
Yeah,
places.
yeah.
And that's pretty good.
Mhm.
They also have freshly made corn dogs too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is also amazing.
Oh.
Now my question about fair food is
Yeah.
oh wait, you continue.
Well,
Italian sausage.
yeah, it's not necessarily a top 3 because, like, if for me last year we went to the air show up in Sioux Falls, and like they had like these barbecue pork sandwiches, like they were freshly like cut, pulled apart that morning. So you can kind of tell if it's just dried out and they're just reheating it, or if it's just fresh, and you can taste the freshness. Like I like that part. I mean, it's not necessarily fair food, but those vendors still go to those types of places.
Right.
Desserts. I don't know. 90 degrees out. I'm not really wanting to eat a dessert. Maybe more like 6, 7 o'clock at night. But that's about it for me. Like I've always wanted to try a deep. Like we had deep Oreos. We did it at work all the time. We weren't supposed to be doing that. But that's
So-
not the point.
So deep fried Oreos.
Italian sausage and then like pulled pork sandwiches.
Okay. So mine, a lot of the fairs I went to are in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Wisconsin State Fair food. The only reason I have to say Wisconsin State Fair food, and I think my mom can attest to this. Number 1 is the cream puffs, the eclairs.
Yeah.
Number 1, delicious. Okay, if you haven't had one, go. It's not that far from at least where we live. I don't know where
Right.
you live, but it might be far from like
Maybe.
Florida or Montana,
Or California.
Or Rhode Island.
or Alaska. So
Vermont.
number 2,
Peru.
I'm gonna go with corn dog,
Okay.
freshly made corn dogs.
Ooh.
Like you touched on it. That's why I didn't say nothing. Because I mean, corn dogs are okay, but like when you have it freshly made, everything is great. Time
What do
out,
you
hold
what do
up.
you what do you dip it in? The corn dog.
Mustard?
Ooh.
Get
You're-
out. Look, it's just like Chicago dogs. You still don't put ketchup on corn dogs.
What?
I was not trying to start
Don't
something.
catch up,
Blasphemy.
God damn it.
Blasphemy.
Because you can put corn dog and mustard. I've
But I
seen
like
the
mustard.
ketchup.
I like mustard.
Syrup is
I
another
like
one too.
ketchup.
If you have the one with sausage
Yes.
and pancake like
Yep.
batter, which would be funnel cakes.
Okay.
Which is number 3, classic funnel cakes.
Back to the Wisconsin
But-
State Fair.
But also at number 3, I gotta add this. It's kind of like a funnel cake, a zeppelin. It's just like
is it what?
What is that?
it's like a funnel cake, but it's like solid like a donut. Like
Okay.
it's a thicker batter.
Okay.
I had it in New York. It's a fair food in New York.
Mm.
Put a little bit of powdered sugar on it.
There ain't nothing going on.
Strawberry
we-
sauce.
We can end this
I-
podcast. Go get some
I-
desserts
when I
right now.
go
That's what I'm
there, I
thinking
say
right
something.
now.
Fried foods.
Bro, fried foods. Yeah.
See, that's when you start doing Italian sausage and pulled pork. I'm like, well, I look, I ain't fat anymore, but the fat in me goes fried.
well.
Give me it
you-
fried. Give me some fried alligator.
Fried
He
foods.
mentioned drinks earlier, and is Orange Julius not a thing anymore?
I mean, I think they see them at like malls. And,
Malls, yeah.
Because Dairy Queen bought them out, so they sell them
Yeah.
at like Dairy Queens. But yeah, Jamba Juice stuff like I don't see much Jamba Juices either.
What's a Jamba Juice?
Okay, youngin, let me tell you, it's like juice.
Let me
okay?
learn you a minute.
I never went to a Jamba Juice. I never heard of one. So I'm like, what the heck is
It's-
Jamba Juice?
It's a juice.
I've heard of the orange juice because when I went to Sioux City Mall,
Well, I think they had it at Mall of America too, right at the Dairy Queen, right there
Yeah.
outside that M&M store
Orange Julius,
where we saw Eric Rowan.
Yeah, we
which-
saw Eric Rowan.
which my daughter still brings up to this day when she sees his face. We saw him at the mall.
Yep, definitely.
Go Wyatt 6. But yeah, so I mean, we could see it talk about fair food, like cheese curds was on the list, being from Wisconsin.
You don't have to have
Fresh
desserts. I
fried
mean, we
cheese
went desserts because those
Because
are
if
good.
you're in
but-
Wisconsin, you get the fresh cheese curds, right? So freshly fried fresh cheese curds
I
is
mean,
even better.
I went to one a couple of years ago, and one of them was a freshly fried blue onion.
Oh, that'd be really good. Oh.
Sorry, there was a thing off in the background. A bunch of bikes circled around like they were doing a cat side version of West Side Story.
Warriors come out to play.
They didn't come out of the cornfield. They just came out of nowhere.
Children of the Corn. We're moving.
Part 7 in Holstein. No, should we say we're
Holstein, Iowa. I don't care what they do.
Yeah. So yeah, it was that was kind of weird. That's kind of why I danger. I'm like, why are they riding around in a circle?
Stay away from me, Isaac. Anyway,
Right.
he who walks behind the corner.
Sorry,
Rosie.
but yeah, where were we?
I mean, you can make fried pickles.
Yes,
Ooh.
pickle chips.
I like the spears. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I like the because they stay breaded longer. You take
Yeah.
a bite of the spear, the whole breading comes off.
I mean, there's a lot of different ways we can go here. Mr. Google,
I mean,
what he was doing.
deep fried Oreos, like you mentioned. I mean, that's on the list too.
I mean, it has
I'm
to
not
be
gonna
on our
lie. I
list.
went to had a deep fried Oreo for the first time. I'm like, why are we not doing this normally? Like, why don't we just do this at home? We can put it in the air fryer or something, right? Deep fried.
Oh,
I
wow.
wanted to try this, and I saw this, and it might be at a fair too. I don't know, but I saw this on like TikTok, YouTube. A deep fried Uncrustable.
Okay.
They battered it and they deep fried it.
Ooh, that might sound good.
And
That
it's
might.
already crunched in, so that way Uncrustable, it's already sealed. Come on. Yeah, baby.
But you gotta have.
That does sound good.
So what do
Damn straight.
they coat it with before they put it in the?
Like back, like
well,
you,
I mean, you
like
gotta have something to keep the batter on, like buttermilk or.
no, you coat it like you would with the Oreos.
Oh, you
batter.
do? Okay.
Like you,
Okay.
like the funnel cake batter, kind of like you put it in the pancake batter, you dip
Right.
it in.
I'm
And
trouble
fry
with my
it.
seat here. Cushion came
I
up a
don't know
little
what I'm
bit.
doing at my place. I'm buying a deep fryer and just.
Then he gets some Uncrustable. He's like, get in my belly.
No, I'm buying Oreo Twinkies and Snickers.
Nope.
I
don't
mean,
do-
that's another one, deep fried Twinkie. I don't like a Twinkie, but I've had a deep fried Twinkie.
Is it good?
It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
Deep fried candy bar for that. I think it was a Snickers bar that I
Yeah.
had, and it's actually pretty good.
Thinking about it, getting the gears rolling a little bit. I think a Three Musketeer would taste good deep fried.
Oh, don't start me on Three Musketeer. Like
And I'm not a Three Musketeer fan.
one
I
of
just
my
think that
favorite
would-
candy bars, which by the way was also a Things You Should Know podcast.
Yeah.
And he said, "Get out! Who goes? I want a Three Musketeer." I think it's one of my favorite underrated candy bars.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go to the store looking for the Three Musketeers, but I can tell you what, I could
We're gonna start the.
I could devour
If any
a
reps are
couple of-
watching, we'll promote the Three Musketeer candy
I
bar.
could
We'll have
devour some.
one.
Like you give me some Three Musketeers at Halloween because kids don't like it. Yeah, I'm in heaven.
Yes.
What about
Diabetes heaven, but I'm in
Yeah.
heaven.
speaking of candy bars? Like one of my other favorite candy bars people don't like is an almond joy.
I
Yeah.
love almond joys. First of all, I gotta tell you again, back to the things you know podcast. This dude has almond joys, but he eats it differently.
How'd you eat it?
He takes it, he bites the nut and takes the almond out and then eats it. Then he saves the almond for later in his pocket, so he has another snack.
What?
Tell me how I got upset at that. Like you just pop it in, get a mounds and get some almonds. Like what are you doing?
Yeah, if you don't want the almond, buy a Mounds bar.
Like when he was talking, I was like, this dude has to be doing it for the podcast or something, because there's no way someone has ever thought about biting the almond off first and putting it in his pocket, saving it for later.
What do you guys think of snowballs?
I can't. I'm out for a minute.
Snowballs are great.
I like
Again, if you don't like coconut, you're not gonna like the mounds. You're not gonna like the almond joy. You're not gonna like the snowballs.
Oh man. Okay.
All right, so This podcast is going way off the edge on that one. We talked about fair foods and we went completely everywhere else, which is good.
Off the deep end.
Yeah, I never
Which
heard
is
of somebody
good.
trying that hard for a snack.
I never had a cold take us so far out that we got to reel back into some sports.
Yeah, it's fine, man. I'm
You love that almond joy
I
thing.
can't wrap my head around it. It's so damn.
And you
funny.
see why they're famous, huh?
Yeah.
You see why their podcast is successful.
I mean, part of me thinks that but then like, why don't you just get more almonds, dude?
get an almond in a mound, separate them itself.
Why can't you buy a bag of almonds and a bag of mountain board?
It does the work for itself.
Oh, I'm done. Oh, that was good. That was great. I don't care if anybody's not watching. That was awesome.
All right, so now
like and subscribe.
So now let's go to the top 25 here.
Okay, somebody's got to take that for a minute. All right, so
We're gonna go pull up the top 25 real quick.
Up right here. I got it from 25 to 1. No, it's on my phone.
Oh.
When did I have time to write down 25?
All right, so we're gonna start at number 25, right?
Iowa Hawkeyes.
Don't forget about Kirk Ferentz and the Iowa Hawkeyes. I mean, the Iowa Hawkeyes is, to me, I think they're too highly ranked.
Yeah.
Their offense was terrible. They had decent offense, but their points per game was horrible.
Right.
They did lose some defense. Cooper DeJean. I think they lost a couple others
to the
draft. So I think 25 is too high for Iowa.
Right.
I mean, I understand what they finished and everything, and it's not because I'm biased for Wisconsin.
Okay.
Then I think, what do you guys think about that? I mean, I can't elaborate more besides I think that they're a little too high.
I think you're right on that because I think, their defense was good, but their offense was dog water. And, they had one of their lowest scoring offenses in college history.
Right.
Very, very highly overranked coming into this season. Makes me wonder why the other teams are so far down, I guess.
Right.
They did have a good record. They were the Big Ten runner-up based on losing the Big Ten championship
To Michigan. Like they did a couple years ago, which is hilarious.
But they were the second best team in the Big Ten.
Didn't they get destroyed against Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay. Arizona Wildcats.
I don't know nothing about them.
Now, Arizona, I mean, I heard a little bit because I listen to Fox Sports Radio, so I know Arnie Spanier on the weekends love it. Shout out to Arnie Spanier at Stinky Genius. But Arizona, that's where Gronk came from.
Nope.
Arizona's like one of those teams that last year kind of moved up a little bit in the Pac-12 and everything like that. Now, I think they are in. Are they in the big? Are they in the big?
They're in the
Big 12?
Big 12, I think. They're not in the.
I know they're not in the Pac-12.
No.
And I don't think they're in the Mountain West.
Oh, they're in the home ball crap. Yep, I just backed out of it.
Yeah, I'll go real quick there.
I got it. And we got it up. Okay. Arizona doesn't say in the thing about them where they are at, but they are 24th coming in this. And
so they're 24.
Their head coach left to go to coach Washington.
Yeah, to take over Caleb DeBoer, which,
yeah,
by the way, is great that he is now in Alabama. I think that was a great hire. That to get out of the Saban area, you still go with a great, powerful coach like Caleb DeBoer.
And it wasn't a big name, but not a lot of people know about him.
Right, and I think he's not going to be what's the word I'm looking for? He's not going to be the
Thank you for the cool take.
I'm trying to say he's not going to be the guy to come in to where he's going to lose players and stuff.
Right.
He's going to gain the respect of the players.
And the thing about it is that some of these big time coaches go into new schools. Like mainly you see seeing these big powerhouses now. Like I don't necessarily. The only way I can throw it out there is this hire from Nick Saban. He's got to be good at recruiting. It has to be recruiting nowadays. NIL, transfer portal, and all that. Recruiting is big now.
Yeah, Arizona is in the Big 12.
Okay.
I just looked in. New Mexico's in the Big 12, but we know they're not.
Virginia Tech is 23rd.
Virginia Tech in the ACC, right?
Yep.
Did they do that? Did they finish in the top 25 last year?
I don't think so.
I heard Virginia Tech since
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick's brother or something, right? Didn't he have a brother that went there too? And
Well, Tyrod Taylor was there, and I can't remember.
when I was in the
right
Navy
after
in
that.
Virginia was probably the last time I've heard of Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. I mean, these are way too early.
Yeah, very way too early. We're just gonna go over it and kind of talk about
I
it.
mean, when
for a
is the
little bit.
first game?
The
The 23rd, I know. August 24th. So the 23rd, I know they're doing
game overseas,
in Dublin. The Pat McAfee show is going to be there.
right? And who's playing?
I forgot. Florida State and Georgia Tech. That just came off the top of my head because I realized they don't deserve it. Sorry, we're trying to fix this static noise really bad, and we have no idea why.
It goes in and out.
We switched soundboards. The next thing we have to do is buy microphones, I guess.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
We might have to. Hey, look, we're gonna start a GoFundMe page to buy us new equipment.
Buy us new equipment. Yeah, GoFundMe takes half of it.
So we need
That's
about
another
$2,000. Buy the bracelets. That'll help us too.
Oh, I just hit the mic.
So that was 23, right?
USC's 22.
USC, they're going to the Big Ten and stuff. I think they're going to end up falling out because you got a different style.
Yeah.
They're playing against big time defenses.
Right. NC State's 21.
I like that. I mean, I think NC State did pretty good at the last year. If you could win the ACC and you start at 21 with Clemson, you have Duke, you have North Carolina who's coming up, you have I guess Virginia Tech. You could make a splash.
And then
It's 12-team playoffs.
I think this pick is low, but this is just my opinion. 20th is Oklahoma State.
I think it's based off of who they've had and what they've done last year, not the fact that they're in a conference where they don't have to worry about Texas and Oklahoma anymore.
That's why I think they're low.
Right. I don't think it's based off of what the conference is.
Right.
It's based off of who they've got, what they did last year.
And then Kansas State is 19. 18 is Texas A&M.
Might have to cut this podcast short because it's static.
Nowhere to keep going. We only got about 45 minutes left.
Jeez. Oklahoma is 17. 16.
I think Oklahoma.
We'll just keep going.
I think Oklahoma 17 is they're not going to stay in the top 20.
Sorry about
They're
that.
playing the SEC, and I think Oklahoma, and as much as I hate to say it, I think Texas is going to have a problem as well because I like the Longhorns. I think Texas, they're both going to have a hard transition because you are playing way better teams.
Yeah. And Big 12 was not known for defense statistically.
That's true. I mean, Pat
basketball
Mahomes,
scores.
Baker Mayfield, I mean, their game alone was 10,000 passing yards between the two.
Yeah.
I mean, not 10,000, 1,000 passing yards between the
Might
two.
as well have been at
10,000
that
for the
point.
season.
I think the total amount of points in that game was like 100.
Yeah,
20?
so yeah, we ain't talking about defense when we talk about
No, I mean,
when we talk about defense, there's two conferences, Big Ten and SEC.
mainly SEC.
Yeah, mainly SEC, but that's complete.
Well,
Big Ten's ground and pound and defense, and SEC's air it out, ground and pound and defense.
Yep, speed
if
and
you
everything.
want a big defender, you go to an SEC team.
If you want a big offensive lineman, you go to a Big Ten team.
Exactly.
If you want a national championship, you just send
Michigan.
Counter Stallions.
If you want a national championship, you just cheat, I guess, right,
You
Michigan?
send Colin Stallions and the skies of the other team.
I'm still waiting for them Oklahoma State fans to say we cheated. I'm waiting for them. Where's my peeps at? Where are they at? They're coming down the road and then they're turning away. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, cool. Children of the Corn.
All right. Utah Utes is 16.
Utah Utes.
Okay,
Where did they go? I think they. Huh?
I have the top 25.
I have a different top 25.
Oh, he has Miami on there. You didn't
Miami's
say-
15.
Miami on here is 19. That's the coach's poll. He has the AP poll.
I have the AP poll. That's the one that everybody's going off of. Which poll's better? That's the AP poll.
AP. Associated Press. We don't go by the coaches.
Which stripper poll?
Oh, that
That's the coach.
where did Lemon Wing Lou go?
We were starting to lose it a little bit. So
Where did Lemon Wing Lou go? That's where the best strip pools are. I mean, chicken wings.
Yeah, Miami is 15. 14 is Tennessee.
So you're telling me the Hurricanes are back?
I mean, buddy down in Florida, I don't really want to talk crap about them, but they need to prove themselves.
I mean, they did get a decent quarterback in the transfer portal.
So keep going though. Who's after them?
Cam Ward.
Yeah, 14 is Tennessee.
Okay.
Volunteers.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting to see.
This is, I think, too high. It's Clemson.
Tennessee does have an.
That's where I wanted to get to.
They do have an unproven five-star recruit. Can't pronounce his fucking name.
Aluga.
That's Florida State's quarterback.
Yeah.
So,
I actually knew who you were talking about.
I think probably because I went right into
Nico Lamaliva.
Who are we talking about again?
Nico
Tennessee?
Lamaliva for you said that's Clemson?
Tennessee.
Clemson is Cade Klubnik.
Oh, I thought I saw a Clemson Tiger
No,
up there.
it's Tennessee.
And he's the quarterback?
Yeah.
Hey, the ones
He's going to be the top breakout candidate for them this coming season.
you can never hear the guy in the orange. He's getting a new mic, don't worry.
Yeah, we're gonna start a GoFundMe.
Go fund me for 3 Morons podcast or just buy these bracelets. All proceeds will go to getting new equipment. $1,000 equipment.
Okay. So, are you still talking about Tennessee?
No, I think he was just trying to say he has a new quarterback.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you wanted to mention Clemson. They're 13. We still got 12 more teams.
Right. So Clemson, real quick, like you said, they have to prove it.
Yes.
They have not been up there since Deshaun Watson and Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney's still there though, right?
Yes.
I don't think he left.
Yeah, he's not.
But they haven't been there in a while. Like they started this dynasty, and then after Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson, they're done.
Coaches left for other schools too.
Ugalele over there.
Ukulele broke.
Yeah. So I think they have to prove it. If they don't prove it, I mean, you're in the ACC, you have to win. There was games last year and the year before that they were losing and brought these other teams up. You're talking NC State, you're talking North Carolina, you're talking Duke. The year they had Notre Dame because of COVID and stuff, Notre Dame proved that Clemson is not the team anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't think, to me, I think being in the top 15 was too high. Maybe 16, 17 might have been okay.
I think they're a top 25 team, but not 12.
But
Or
there's still one team on the list that I'm waiting for us to get to because they're on there every year, and I'm going to say they're overrated.
I already know. So LSU's 12.
Okay, I can see that.
I'm scrolling up. 11 is Florida State.
I think that's low. They had a great season with that, but they did lose their star. He did go to the NFL.
Jets.
Get DJ Ugalele.
From
Yes.
Oregon State, who didn't do terrible with Oregon State. He was good last
No,
year.
he did pretty decent.
And I think, even their backup was going to do good. So we'll see how they do.
So you mentioned that you have a team that you say is overrated every year. I know this isn't a team, but a lot of people are saying that this team is overrated, being ranked 10th going into the year. And that is the Missouri Tigers.
Missouri. See, that's the thing. Missouri hasn't proven anything in years.
They beat Ohio State in the bowl game last year.
Besides that, but was Ohio State trying? And we
We got
always
an
got
adult
to hear
woman in the
that.
corner over there now. She just.
But no,
I
I think
know what you mean.
Missouri. If you want to put them in, because again, the people who look at this list have watched game films of all the people there, all the people coming in, the opponents, the conference, what they did. We don't have much time to watch that many games.
No.
Or highlights.
These people
even
have the
highlights of
time and
highlights.
get paid millions to do
Like
this
if
poll.
we start getting paid for this podcast, we would have time to sit there and watch this. I think that if you're gonna put Missouri in, you put them 15 to 20. Because they're in the SEC, so obviously if you're thinking they're that high, they're going to be that good.
A 10-win
decently
team
competitive.
coming off a good bowl game against Ohio State. I know Ohio State may have, transfer portal because they lost to Michigan. I don't care. Ohio State's Ohio State. They still won. They still had about a 10-11 win season. 9 is the defending champ Michigan Wolverines.
I guess I could see that because they did lose some people.
I thought that was high.
including their
You thought that
Yeah, I'm a Michigan fan. I thought that was high.
because they lost Jim Harbaugh. You think that's the main?
Harbaugh, McCarthy, Roman Wilson,
Blake Corum.
They lost a lot, and rightfully so. These are talented guys.
So let's
that
see if
help
they
them.
can reload.
I'm waiting. I'm hoping they reload.
Are they reloading or rebuilding? That's the question.
Probably a little bit of both. I don't.
Because if they're rebuilding, then they're too high. If they're reloading, they're too low.
I agree with that. Number 8 is Notre Dame.
Overrated.
Is that the one you were going to talk about?
Every year.
Yep.
Ian Book, the dude that left Sam Hartwell, the dude that left Wake Forest, the guy that I think just left UNC or Duke this year. He goes there, right?
That's why I was laughing. Because every year they get a quarterback from another school, and they don't have the same quarterback every year.
And not only that, they fail when they play. Like they play Navy, they whoop them 55-0. Oh, we're the best team, and then they go play Clemson and lose. Like they're independent, which they can schedule some good. But once it comes time to conference, it's kind of hard to do top tier. Before conference play, you can do top tier teams, and they need to start doing that where they go top 10 teams before conference play, and then you got to find who you can find during conference play.
Right.
Or join a conference. ACC would be perfect for them. Big Ten would be perfect. I don't think they'd go to Big Ten. I think they'd go to ACC.
ACC.
Because of the COVID year. So I think that's why they would stay at ACC.
It would make more sense for them to be in the ACC.
It would benefit them. The only reason I say Big Ten is because they're right there in Indiana.
Big Ten.
But I think Big Ten would be too much for them.
Maybe, yeah.
Because, like I said, every year they're in the top 10. Every year they fall. They're in the playoffs for a little bit, and then they fall out because they have 1 or 2 losses. And because you don't play a bowl game in the bowl, this year they might make the playoffs because it's 12 teams.
I think
So-
that's a legit
So
chance to
it
go.
might benefit them. And then that might help them. And then we can see why 12 teams might be better than 8. Because even
Right.
8, I think they might make it.
Right.
But every year, you don't play a bowl game. So you got ranked teams or unranked teams playing ranked teams and this and this. So you got teams that are going to jump, that could easily jump them in the rankings because they're not playing. But yet you got a 10 versus a 1, and the 10 beats a 1. They're jumping Notre Dame if they both have 1 loss.
No, I'm agreeing with you 100%.
So to me, they're overrated, but we'll see what they do this year, and we'll see what the playoffs.
Now, okay, go ahead.
We'll see what the playoffs if they go from, what are they ranked?
8.
So if they stay in the playoff contention, they're still in the top 12 teams. I think that works.
Yeah, I do too. I would just admire in the passion. I love this time of the year. We're talking about NFL. We're talking about preseason.
Soon
about
NHL.
Like we're getting into we know that the season is coming. You can hear the passion in our voice. The thing about it is with Notre Dame, with me, is they do. Let's just say now that are they overrated now because they lose those 1 or 2 games because they don't fall out of the top 12? That's the narrative now.
That's true.
So, number 7 is Penn State.
I mean, I want to say they're overrated, but I think that's a good ranking for them. Because they're usually good in. We're good right now.
What are you doing? We're good.
At least that's what. Anyway, Penn State, I think, is a good ranking system for them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're not good now. At least not in the headset. We're not good. So I think Penn State is. I think they're ranked good.
Yeah.
I think they're perfectly ranked because they lose usually to Ohio State or Michigan. That's their downfall. They do good against Wisconsin. They do good against Iowa. They do good against who else is pretty? Minnesota's up there usually. We'll see what they do against Oregon, USC, UCLA. I think there was
well, I mean,
Washington.
Before this you had Penn State, like you're saying, you don't have to
They lose one of those games and leave out.
But they also lose some games against the mid-pack. And I call it the mid-pack because these are teams that 7-8 wins. They could beat anybody in the
Illinois, Indiana, Purdue. Indiana's never I can't say anything good about Rutgers. Ever.
Maryland is a feisty team.
Maryland is one of those teams.
They are just one of those teams.
They may only win 4 games, but they'll take out a big team.
Yeah, they will.
Or they'll take like Michigan to
They'll
the extreme, and you're like, oh, Michigan's not that great.
Sorry.
So I think a couple of those. I think that's a decent ranking. I
Yeah.
think maybe you could go a little bit lower, but that's it.
But this is a surprise ranking at number 6. Ole Miss.
Yeah, I was reading it, and Missouri was one that shocked me that they're on there. And Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, and Ole Miss, like you hear about them, but you don't hear about them, right?
Yeah.
Like you hear, okay, they're up there, they could win. They're in the SEC. It's kind of like they're going to lose to Mississippi State, or they're going to lose to Tennessee, or they're going to lose to Alabama, Georgia. So I think having them there
Yeah.
is just like you're putting them at a top level. So are they going to be able to
I think
compete that well with Alabama and Georgia and all of the
that segues
major
into
houses?
number 5 with Alabama. And my point is that now that you have that new coach in there, we don't know where this is going to go. We assume it's probably just going to stay its course or maybe dip a little bit. This is Ole Miss' chance to get into that elite
For this year, at least.
for this year at least. Can they challenge? You don't have to go undefeated anymore. You can lose a couple of games as long as those games are against teams that are in that playoff. It's a good loss.
If
Ole Miss is 13-2, sorry. If Ole Miss is 10-2 and they're right up there going for the SEC championship, or if they lose, you got to put them in.
Yes.
Right.
Now, I think for the SEC,
Alabama too, and I'm saying that for A&M, Tennessee,
I
Georgia, and all those teams.
don't think you're going to see, with the additive Texas and Oklahoma,
this is not going to.
it's going to be hard to be undefeated for this season.
At least in the SEC this year.
Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, that gives 2 more competitive teams against Georgia, right? Alabama. Now, they're not going to play both of those teams, but
No.
you just added more power that these 2 teams have to beat. And the rest of the pack is going to catch up.
Right.
NIL deals, transfer portals, Nick Saban retiring, Caleb DeBoer is coming in. He's a great coach. Look what he did with Washington.
Yeah.
He's going to get respect, but it's a new system that these guys who are like seniors and juniors have to relearn. They're not going to go to the Nick Saban system. It's completely different. It's going to be a different atmosphere.
Well,
Now, I think they're going to be disciplined, but they're not Nick Saban disciplined.
and brings up a point where you say you don't have to go undefeated. Now, if you go undefeated, you're winning it all. Like
Yeah, I think any team in college, you go undefeated.
You got to win it all.
If you don't win it all, it's a shock.
Yeah, because you should put them into the top 12.
That was even last year. Michigan undefeated, right?
15-0, baby.
And they dominated.
I wouldn't say dominated. They just got by the last 3 games of the season.
No,
But
they dominated the regular
much-
season.
Yeah,
They
regular
dominated the regular season.
Didn't they win that national title like 20 times?
Yeah, but we just got by Alabama. We had an interception against Ohio State. We shut down Penn State. And
In all fairness, though, who did Washington beat to get in there? Texas, right?
Texas and Oregon.
It was Texas.
They had to beat Oregon twice.
Right.
I mean, they're not a slouch. Washington was no slouch.
But who
last
did
year.
Washington beat in the playoffs? It was
Texas.
Texas, right?
And Texas was a game opponent too.
Right. So I think Texas should have won that game. That was my pick to win the game. So you had, I think, the lesser of the 2 teams playing Michigan.
Yes.
So if you had Texas, it wouldn't have been a blowout.
I had a kind of a weird take on it as well back then. It's like
But did
whoever won that Alabama Michigan game was going to win the national championship.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. The Michigan played one of the better teams in the playoffs in Alabama.
Dude,
The first
I don't
round. So
think
they
I
were
ever-
already
I don't think
ready.
I ever jumped off my couch as high as I did when they stuffed them on that 4th down. It was awesome.
But like I said, they played somebody big, right?
Yes.
So they got ready for that game faster than Washington got ready for that game.
Right. And wouldn't have been to me a major disappointment, but like you beat Bama, but then you lose to Washington. Like that, would it have
But
sat
the season Washington was having, though.
Yeah, they were lights out. All 4 teams. I mean, we can debate it again and again and again and again. You had 4 great teams in the playoffs. You had 2 semifinal games. We're down to the wire.
I'm going to throw it out here real quick. Arch Manning played. Texas would have won it all. Just saying.
Maybe.
Or he throws a game-winning interception. Russell.
Hey, look,
Wilson.
he got paid Manning blood in him.
Right. So number 4 is Oregon.
Okay, I can see that.
Number 3, Texas Longhorns.
I think that's too high.
Number 2
I
is
like
Iowa.
Texas. I'm sorry, Mr. Google, but I like Texas. But at the same time,
I say at least top.
at
five,
least
not
they're
top
going to
three.
SEC.
Number 2 is my favorite team in the league. You gotta know it's that team from Ohio State, baby. What?
First of all, you're supposed to say the northern the team.
I don't care. I'm a Michigan fan. I cannot stand them block suckers.
I can't believe they're that high. They can't even beat Michigan. Why you put it?
And we already know number 1's Georgia. So
Yeah, and I agree with Georgia.
yeah, I do too. Ohio State, in all fairness, did get Will Howard from Kansas State. That's
Right, but at the same time, you haven't beat Michigan in a few years. You lost to Missouri.
Now they know how we felt 3 years ago. We can't get up there because we can't beat Ohio State. How does it feel, Ohio State, huh?
They don't know
How's it
because they're
feel?
number 2.
How's it feel?
They can't beat you. They reward them.
And guess what? You hear all these people cry about Ryan Day. Ryan Day is a hell of a coach.
Oh, he's a hell of a coach.
His
Just
winning
'cause he can't
percentage
beat-
is right there with Urban Meyer. Because he can't beat Michigan, he's on the hot seat. That, to me, is unfair.
Well, that's because that's how it goes in those two schools. You can't win. Well, that doesn't go when you're Jim Harbaugh. But if you can't win, we don't want you here.
Well, he's going to go somewhere else. Like, I'm sorry, but if they don't win the Big Ten, I don't care what they do in the playoffs. They don't win the Big Ten, he's gone.
Yes, I agree. If he doesn't win the Big Ten in the next year, 2 years, I say 2 years, because you got 4 new teams, so you got to take that into consideration. If you don't win the Big Ten in the next 2 years, he's going to be gone, but he's going to succeed somewhere else.
I really do think we're going to get a feisty 4 teams out of that. UCLA, Washington. I'm not saying they're going to win it or anything like.
UCLA
is
an underdog.
You're going to see some competitive football from these 4 teams because they have a chip on their shoulder. They got something to prove. They're new to this conference.
Was a punch bag in the Pac-12, but they were like the Maryland, right? They're feisty. They will go toe to toe with USC. They'll go toe to toe with Washington. They went toe to toe with the powerhouses of the conference.
They won 3 out of the last 4 against USC.
Exactly, like they are the powerhouses.
Or it was like 2 or something. There was a long stretch, and you could actually go back to the Matt Leinart days of USC. I know we're going back to the early 2000s where UCLA did not beat USC. Here lately, it's kind of been more even.
Right.
Now, I don't know what the overall series is, and don't quote me on that, but yeah.
Mike just died.
It's been dead.
Okay, where you guys are sharing mics now. Cool.
Mike just died.
GoFundMe page. We got mics. Sorry. So are we? We're in agreement with number 1.
Someone can bring us batteries.
So we're in agreement with number 1 with Georgia. So is there any do they go 3 out of 4 this year, or do they at least win the SEC? Like, where do you see Georgia kind of playing out in all this?
I think Georgia
We'll show them a little bit of love.
Go to the SEC championship game, and I'm thinking I don't know. I'm pretty sure Texas is not on the other side.
I think that would be a
I
great
think Texas,
championship
Georgia
game.
would be a great SEC championship.
Oh, that is.
If you're gonna have Texas at number 3, they're kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, right? They kind of look, but I think they get over the hump. They get into the SEC championship their first year, and I think Texas Longhorns hook them, baby. They'll win by about 5 points. I think Quinn Ewers gets hurt. Arch Manning comes in and throws the game-winning touchdown.
You got a hard on by that dude, huh?
No, I just think he needs to play.
Are you surprised he didn't enter the transfer portal?
I'm shocked he didn't.
I'm surprised.
Where do you see him going? I mean, don't say
Tennessee.
Wisconsin. Tennessee. I like that because his uncle went to Tennessee.
Right. I was never going to say Wisconsin. You're not going to Wisconsin if you're a quarterback.
No.
Fuck no.
But why
You go to
not?
Ohio State or something.
Now, Eli's not his dad. It's the older Manning brother. That's his dad.
Peyton
right?
No, Manning. His dad's the oldest. Yes,
The
Cooper.
oldest Manning. Cooper,
The one that doesn't play football.
who is actually said to be better than the 2 other brothers.
He was a receiver at football.
Yeah, he was better than the other 2.
He got hurt really bad, and he that's why Peyton Manning wears that number 18 because that was Cooper Manning's number. Well, speaking of numbers, did you know Babe Ruth never picked number 3?
Why was he given number 3?
He was third in the batting line.
I like that.
I heard that on Fun Fact Friday from the Bobby Bones show, and I figured might as well share that now.
That's
We're
fine.
talking about numbers.
That's fine.
That's the craziest thing ever. He's a famous number 3, but he never picked it.
That is crazy because for Yankee fans, I mean, not so much Red Sox fans because we screwed the pooch on
Because
that.
we don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But for him being iconic with that number, he never even picked it. It was just given to him because he was number 3 in the batting lineup. In which, all rightfully so, he's a power hitter. You know, if you have 2 guys on base, he's going to get those 3 runs for you. If he
Hey, you
hits
got
it.
to work in again.
3-run shot.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Anyway, what about
So we're good with college football.
Yeah, we're good with college football.
At least
go,
until
go
it starts.
Badgers.
Go Wolverines. Go ahead, represent.
Go. Who do you like?
Badgers. Duh.
I know who you like, but they don't know.
No.
Go
Sorry.
Wolverines.
We know. I mean, yeah, you're from Wisconsin. We like the ponies over here. Donkeys.
Right. Is there a random
They're-
team?
The Broncos, not the Donkeys.
Is there a random what college team?
Is there a random college team that you secretly kind of root for and kind of keep eyes on?
Yeah, Navy.
Not Texas. I'm saying there's
Boise
just-
State.
that's what I'm looking
Navy.
for. Navy. Oh yeah, you went to the Navy.
I went to the Navy. But besides that, you don't want to know who I look at? And,
Charlotte 49ers.
no. A team I look at, I've played before on the video games and kind of follow them since then.
Yeah.
Wyoming.
Cowboys. Yeah.
Even before I just watch them. Don't know why color schemes show. I played them at the last good college football game. I played them every year to take them to the national
Your
championship.
Michigan fans are gonna hate me for saying this.
Ohio State.
No, Appalachian State.
I wonder why you follow. You follow ever since then. You're like,
Yep.
another one I found because when I lived out there and it wasn't near where I went. A&T, sure, whatever, HBCU, but Coastal Carolina, the
Yeah.
Chandeliers.
Yeah.
First of all, never knew what their look of the logo they would be called the
Right.
Chandeliers, but I've been following them a little bit since March Madness a few years. I'm like, oh, and then I heard them in one day. I heard them they're like top 25 a couple years ago in the NCAA football. I was like, wait, they got a football team? I thought they were just basketball.
They won the College World Series way back in the day too.
Yeah,
That was their
yeah.
first collegiate title.
So I mean, those are two teams. I mean, Navy, like I said, it's kind of a shock, but it's not being in the Navy. You always
Right.
kind of follow that. You want to make sure that go Navy, beat Army,
Yeah.
even
Which
beat Air Force.
I think if we get this podcast going, maybe we'll do an episode dedicated to military. We'll talk Army, Navy, history about that. We maybe throw that pitch
the
out
football
there.
games or just period.
Just period.
Okay, yes,
Games.
period. Yeah, because some people need to know dates and military stuff like what the. As sad as it is, some people don't know anything about the Holocaust.
We're gonna talk about war.
I've talked to
You
some
sunk
people
my
who don't know
battleship.
about the Holocaust. But anyway,
No.
so
But is there any other teams? Like, do you kind of like Iowa State when I was in like
I
the Iowa
guess.
teams was kind of one that I was following.
another one I follow. Again, I was from the area. A lot of people NIU Huskies. I follow the
Yep.
Huskies once in a while.
right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
See, I like because I follow Boise State because I always like that blue field.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the blue feels nice.
Yeah.
Another one that I've looked at a couple times.
Wait a
just-
minute, it's the same team as Denver, the Broncos. Get out of here.
Okay. But also, there's other college teams that had different colored fields, and one that's like has like that really weird, especially when it snows, is Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
It has a red field. But
I like
when
how you
it's-
said. I like how you said not Eastern when you were trying to say Eastern Michigan, and then you said Eastern Washington. You mean not Michigan?
Okay, shut up.
Learning how to talk, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
they have a red field, but when they did it, they didn't expect it that when it snows, the field turns pink.
Yeah. Did you know that?
Funny
I watched that. I
I've
was
never-
like,
I've
that
never
is
seen that.
crazy.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
You could have a red field or a pink field. Just depends.
right?
And Eastern Michigan has a gray field.
And I've also followed being again in the Navy. I also followed a little bit of the Washington Huskies
Yeah.
because being a ferry ride to Seattle, that was a big team out there. And actually, I worked with someone. My name drop. His name's Stanley Daniels. Stanley Daniels. He played for Washington Huskies.
Okay.
I worked for him when I was in New York. He was on the Green Bay Packers, so he knew Aaron Rodgers and all them. And actually, his biggest claim to fame, he was an offensive lineman for a season as a starter for the Denver Broncos.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Now he's doing business-to-business sales.
Nice.
But hey, I mean, I
Yeah.
just name dropped because he was in the NFL.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I should see if I have him on Facebook. Maybe talk a little bit about that experience.
There you go.
Get an interview going or something.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So, do we want to jump ship to? I think we have two topics, but
Yeah.
really one more sports topic.
Yeah, and that's the Olympics.
Do you guys want to jump to the Olympics?
Yeah, we can do that.
Or did you want to do anything else? Or?
We can do the Olympics.
All right, Olympics it is.
I got to pull my
So,
notes for the Olympics.
so
I don't even
For
know
the
who won gold medal
Olympics.
game in my sport today.
United States won, everybody. We won. We did it. We tied China with gold, but we had the most silver medals out of the two.
Had the most
So
medals,
we,
period.
well, yeah, we dominated medal count, but I read they do go over gold first.
Yes.
So we won the Olympics. Suck it, China. We did it.
Suck it, guys.
I mean, let's be honest. They did the last three sports we needed to win. We won, right? Basketball for men's and women's, which, by the way, was the first time in Olympic history that the men's and women's basketball finals were the two same countries, USA and France.
Okay.
Okay, but our phones aren't on there, so
But as soon as you turn them off, the static will go off.
my phone's not on, so it's okay. So,
Yeah, we
but
turn
yeah,
mine off?
USA and
we turn mine
United
off?
States have won. Now, I'm not gonna lie, we talked about this and you agreed with it. We're kind of cheering for France for the men's, kind of suck it to Embiid
Yeah.
because he's like, I'm not playing for France. But imagine if he did play for France, they would have won.
I think they would have.
I think they would have won.
Well-
They didn't win by a lot. I mean, Steph Curry took off. It's not like Embiid helped us that much, but he would have helped them more.
Okay.
Right.
And then what else? Women's soccer, of course, won. Men's soccer failed like always.
Yep.
A couple of my sports. So we talked about the rugby, the USA bronze. Then that we talked about water polo. USA was going for the fourth consecutive gold medal. They finished fourth for the women's water polo. Hungary
Consistent
won
fourth.
first. Yeah. So in the men's. So beatboxing, right?
Yep.
USA got third in that for the men's. B-boy Victor got third. He was a heavy favorite. Canada got first. But yeah, it was a good Olympics. I watched some of that beatbox, the breaking.
Right.
Good Lord. Amazing. Like I didn't think I was gonna like it, to be honest with you. It was definitely like bringing it or step it up or whatever. It was
Yeah.
really good.
Very nice. I think one sport I had was boxing. We had only one medal in that sport, and that was a bronze.
It was, and you heard we had to give a bronze away.
Yeah, we had to get
for
a
the
bronze away.
Olympics.
It was a floor exercise. I don't know what the whole story was on that, and they're appealing it, so we'll see. It's
Did you?
gymnastics.
And before you get to your little notes here, I want to throw something out there. This is a question. Another question. Did you see the dude get disqualified in the pole vaulting?
No.
No. Did you hear about it?
Oh, they got pole vaulting because he got his
Thing touched the pole.
Oh yeah.
He's got his magic.
Now,
thing.
here's the thing. No pun intended. Are you mad that you got disqualified for that? You're kind of like, hey, ladies, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, you get a little flex, right? Like,
His
hey,
special-
look, hey, that's the reason I got disqualified.
His
but just
special
think
equipment got in the way.
Of like Blue Chew and Trojan, you have to reach out to this guy, right? And be like,
Yeah.
we want you to sponsor us,
Yes.
or we want to sponsor you because that's the
So
reason.
is the joke behind it? He was a man as a woman, or what? Or is he?
No, like he went to pole.
No. He's a man. He's a man in the competition,
He's
Right.
and he hit his. Okay, now I
and
got
his
it. Yeah.
and wait, every
Yeah.
part of his body cleared, his shoulders, his feet, everything.
But
But
his
his
junk hit the
thing,
thing.
his junk hit the pole. And he got disqualified on technicality because that's what happens if any
Yeah,
part of your body hits.
There's $1 million right there for Blue Chew and all the Viagra and all this other stuff. Yeah, you got to reach out to this guy. And I don't care if it's overseas and we never see it. You got to reach out to him
It's
for
definitely
marketing.
it's probably definitely the funniest disqualification ever.
Right.
And the guy can't be mad about it. He's just like, well, what am I going to do?
Oh, he's definitely like, yeah, give me a call,
Talking to
ladies.
Your legs
Yeah.
next time.
Then he can do it for the women.
No. Oh man, that was yeah. Now that I mentioned it, yeah, you did share it to me. And I'm just like, ow. Oh wait, he got disqualified for that. That was actual stuff. I thought it was just like a random TikTok with somebody doing
No.
this. This is the
He
Olympics.
got actual disqualified for his special equipment hitting the bar.
My
His
best
special
my best
equipment.
my best moment of the Olympics was
His
that
actual pole
52-year-old shooter. He just comes out. Everybody's got all this stuff. He just comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
without all the equipment, that's crazy.
And he won silver.
Exactly.
That
If he would
was
have
all-
had
that
if he had
was
the
all-
equipment, he would have won gold. I'm just saying.
Also, his partner in women's for shooting in Turkey won silver as well, and she had all the equipment on, the freaking earmuffs, the goggles, everything.
Yeah, he just proven. You know what? Don't mess with him. Okay?
No.
And the reason, and it's like a little backstory, the special reason why he got into shooting was to get closer to his son.
Oh, that's pretty
Nice.
Good for that guy.
Right? Did he shoot him now because he looks mad?
Look, it's just kind of like the Winter Olympics, right? Like curling. Those dads from Wisconsin won gold.
Yeah.
They want to get closer to themselves. So what notes do you got over here?
So what I got here is for handball. The men's, it was gold for Denmark, silver for Germany, and bronze going to Spain. Women was Norway getting the gold, France got the silver, and Denmark got the bronze. Our surfer Caroline Marks won the gold for women's surfing, and France, the man Kali Vost won the gold.
Okay.
And
Very nice.
Taekwondo, it was a guy from France. No, the girl from France that won. I can't pronounce her name. I think it's Afia Loren. And then the guy from Iran won Taekwondo. He won the gold.
Okay.
So that's Taekwondo. Squash doesn't make their debut until LA.
2028.
2028.
Also, in the Olympics, I saw pictures of Snoop Dogg at the equestrian event, dressed up with like the hat and everything. Snoop Dogg's just living his best life in France.
I think
There it
we
was.
pretty much adopted him as our national mascot.
Yeah, right. This dude
Although,
has.
I think Flavor Flav should get his money back.
Yeah, right. Because the women's didn't.
Yeah,
even,
women's didn't medal.
And I also heard on a commercial, a little off topic. You heard Red Lobster going away with your boy Flavor Flav. Did he buy out Red Lobster? Where did he get all his money from? But no, I think Snoop Dogg has more side missions than anybody else than any GTA character.
Right. And sorry about that. So I think Snoop Dogg, like, we just need him to be an ambassador for the United States. Like, he doesn't have to be for Olympics. Just take him overseas and be like, yo, what's up, man? Why China? Why North Korea? Why are you trying to bomb us, man? Here, hit this little blunt right here. Like,
He don't do that no more.
We don't do that no more. But like, he's just so chill, and he's having fun. He's liking this, and he's just having fun. That's all he's doing. And there's nothing wrong with that.
The next Olympics is the Winter Olympics.
Yep.
Now I'm going to ask you guys this: what is your favorite Winter Olympic sports? Not hockey, like one of the oddball ones, kind of like that we did research on. Mine's curling.
The luge.
The luge, not the bobsled, but the luge.
Yeah, it's basically high.
The single bobsled
It's
is the
high
luge.
speed.
Yeah,
High speed. Two, skiing, which would be, I don't know if it's the slalom or the alpine. I just like skiing in general. And then the other one would be the skeleton.
Okay, what's the skeleton?
So the skeleton is, he's got luge where they're actually in something. Skeleton is, you're on this freaking
Just your body.
And it's your body. You're just like doing this.
Good Lord, talk about dying.
One I like is skiing, but it's basically the long jump skiing. It's
Yep.
basically how far you can get.
Yep.
That's one thing I like. One of my favorite movie I want to watch is called Eddie the Eagle.
Okay.
It's based upon that.
So when I know exactly what he's talking about because nerd alert here. When I played the video game, I got the 2006 Torino games from Italy, and one of those sports was where you jump off and you have to like basically stay still before you land, and then you're judged on your landing, like how much you move, how much you don't move,
Exactly.
and then you come down, and then it's all about from the jump to when you land. So
And
if you land
how
perfectly and how far. So if you land perfectly, your odds are you're going to get a higher score.
Okay.
And as less movement, the better.
And Eddie the Eagle is based on a true story with the guy that played from Kingsman: The Golden Circle and Hugh Jackman.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a pretty good movie.
I mean, I just pretty much watch curling. Okay, the Navy got me into curling because we scrub the deck all the time, so I think I can do it. I also like bobsled, but that might have to be because of cool runnings.
Feel the rhythm. Feel
To
the
the
rhythm.
blue. Oh, yeah, I love that.
It's bobsled time.
We are a
Take-
bobsled team. Hey,
Take my man card if you want sometimes, but back in the day, figure skating.
hey, Apollo Ono, right? No, he's speed skating.
That's speed skating. Speed skating.
Hey, look, Blades of Glory was a great movie.
yes, it was.
That's
Well,
how I
like-
first saw Machine Gun Kelly. Oh, wait, wrong guy, right? That was John Heater.
But like you had Tara Lipinski back in Nagano in '98. You had all these other girls like Michelle.
Hey,
Kwan
look.
and all that.
Tanya Harding.
Tanya
Look.
Harding back in the '90s.
Yeah,
80s.
I mean, it's so competitive. Just taking people's kneecaps out. I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure that was her husband, but I mean, could have been her.
Don't matter. Anyway,
if the glove don't fit, you must.
so we're looking forward to the Winter
I know that was
Olympics.
OJ, but I don't care.
I like the Winter Olympics more, but I think that's because I like curling, hockey. Like, I don't care about the basketball. I know they also, boxing might be done. They
Yeah.
even said that they post on Facebook. It's a sad end of era because of agreements and stuff. But I like the Winter Games better.
I read somewhere today, and I know you could say what you want about the news source, but they're saying by 2050 they may not be able to compete for the Summer Olympics because of how hot it can be. Because of the global warming. So,
Also,
just throwing it out there. You're not saying you heard it here first, but did we get a text? No questions. Okay. Are we still going on the Olympics? So, Jake, do you want to go ski jumping with me one day?
Sure. Want to go bobsled?
Sure. We might tear both of our ACLs, but we're going to do this.
Let's all do it. Let's go curling then.
Let's go curling.
Okay, if we do bobsled, dibs on being in the front.
I'm in the back.
Why do I got to be in the middle?
But no, the Olympics.
I'm screwed.
The Olympics. Some of the sports are great to watch. Like
Yeah.
when we looked this up, archery was actually pretty good. I like
Yeah.
rugby. Look at the break dancing, something I've never watched all this stuff before. I watched it and it's just a craft. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So in all, it was a great experience to watch more of them than just soccer or basketball, which by the way, women's basketball, I want to touch on that, was one of the lowest viewed sports of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Now do you think they wish they had Caitlin Clark to make that number go up? About 1 point, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, they would have dominated. Because we all know Team USA lost.
Yeah, but they haven't lost the Olympic round since
WNBA.
1992.
That's true. 8 straight golds, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just saying, like, their thing is that okay, Francis not going to watch us, but we still went in and we beat about a point, but they still got gold. They're coming back. They're WNBA will be starting back up here pretty quick. I think you're going to see a little bit of firepower out of some of these girls when these Olympians come back. You're like, yeah, we won gold, but yeah, we beat you.
Exactly.
Speaking of like unusual sports, when I was waiting to get my truck done, I was watching ping pong, table tennis.
Hey, didn't Team USA win for China? Asian?
For what?
Team USA won ping pong, right?
Sorry.
Did you see who our team was?
You see our team that won the
They were
table tennis?
Asians.
They were all Asians. And they beat China.
They beat China. They were Chinese.
That was probably the biggest ironic slap in the face thing I could have seen.
But did you hear that this is the year like most people representing teams weren't even from that country?
Yeah.
Because they have residency in the other country, like the USA ping pong. Like
wait a minute, Olympics has a transfer portal?
I guess
I'm going to Italy. Bye.
So basically,
look, I'm going to Finland.
I don't know the for
Sorry.
sure rules on it, but I'm pretty sure that if you have a residency in that country, you can be part of that country's Olympic
I
team.
thought you were going to say you didn't know the rules of ping pong. Keeping the white lines on the keeping on the playing board.
And that's how Joel Embiid was able to compete for the United
And
States.
that's how freaking Clay Thompson was able to compete for the Bohemian team.
How'd that work out for him?
Not very well.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were in it.
They didn't even make it out of the knockout round. I don't
Oh, they
believe.
didn't make it out into the Olympics.
No.
For the Bahamas. That's how he was able to play for the Bahamas.
He's the only player on the Bahamas. They just found people in the street like, you can shoot
But
basketball, right?
One of the
You can play, right?
You can shoot coconuts.
right. And
Yeah, let's see,
going
play
off of
basketball.
the
Yeah.
basketball thing, Victor Wembanyama just increased his worth in this Olympics.
Oh, yes, he did.
Oh yeah, totally.
And like they're saying now that this is a guy that's going to be could be the next face of the NBA because of his performance last season, winning Rookie of the Year. I'm not just pitching this because I'm a Spurs fan, but he looked great.
And I think it was that year in the NBA
Yeah.
that helped him progress to when he's in, because he was probably, I think he was in the Olympics. No, because that was 4 years ago. Never mind. It would have been the FIBA basketball.
Yeah, FIBA.
But he had 1 year of high competitive play in the NBA, and it helped him get better, like Giannis, right? He went back to represent Greece.
Yeah.
And he did pretty good
Yeah.
for Greece. I mean, there's other people, but he is Team Greece.
Yep. And Jokic as well. Like Jokic damn near
But
brought down the
they had
United States.
like Bogdanovich too.
Bogdanovich. Jokic damn near beat United States by himself.
Yeah, I mean, but
This dude is
he's
like
the MVP of the the NBA. I want to say MLB. He's the MVP of the NBA, so he definitely is showing you why.
I heard some rumors that one of Abiyama, the one dude's French teammate, might be his teammate on the Spurs because how good he played.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
I'll be down. We have
How-
Chris Paul.
how
We have Chris Paul.
How dominant they were and how good he played with.
I think Tony
Abiyama.
Parker should come out.
Yeah, right. Hopefully.
So,
Can we get Tony Parker Jr.? TPJ, I'm pitching for you. Well, I don't even know if that exists.
so do we have any other questions or anything else we want to go after? It looks like the chat's pretty quiet. Does anyone have questions out there?
We do have one more take, and I remember you brought this up pre-show.
Oh, that he beat the kangaroo?
That
You cannot be a kangaroo.
Look, first of all,
do you identify as a kangaroo?
no, I'm gonna
Okay.
fight a kangaroo. I can take a kangaroo. I'm gonna stick to that
betting
take.
$50 you can't.
Look. One or two things are gonna happen in my life.
You're
Either
gonna get
say his
your ass
name.
kicked by a
Either
kangaroo.
I believe in Joe Hendry. No, he didn't appear, so I could beat a kangaroo. Those are one of the two things. Either Joe Hendry appears or I beat a kangaroo.
I doubt that.
Okay.
But no, I could beat a kangaroo. But no, what? So that wasn't the take you're talking about.
No, I was
Oh,
talking about.
was it the fact that if your
Excuse me.
girl
Okay,
gets
okay, then go ahead, bring it in.
here's another take I had or a question. If your girl's at a bar with her girlfriends, whoever, and a guy buys her a drink and she takes it. Now, no, she's not flirting with the guy. The guy just thought she was cute and bought her a drink. Would you be mad she took it? Yes or no? Now, if you're married, I guess you save money for both of you. To me, I say no. For one, I'm flattered he thinks she's hot. Two, she's not flirting back, right? The whole scenario, she doesn't flirt back. She's not showing that she's not available, but maybe she takes the drink and says, "Oh, I'll take it, but I'm not available."
Yeah.
So I'm not mad if it doesn't go anywhere, right? Clearly, if she calls me, "Oh, he bought me drinks," it's just one, that's different. But if he just one drink, I'm not mad. Drinks are expensive. I mean,
Yep.
chances are, if you're married, you're sharing the account. If you're not married, now she can take that money and you help out with a date or something like that.
Right. Oh boy. Should I do devil's advocate on this? What guy buys the drink just to be polite without trying to look for
Well,
something
I'm not
else?
saying
I'm just
I'm not
saying.
saying his intentions aren't pure. I'm just saying she
Very
didn't flirt with him
true.
and he sent her a drink.
Yeah. If you
And
want me to be okay with
she
it,
accepts it, are you mad? Now she's not flirting with the guy.
right.
She does it. Maybe afterwards she tells him, "Hey, I'm not available," and he's still like, "We'll have the drink anyway because I bought it because that's what you're drinking." Or I asked the bartender whatever she's drinking, buy another one.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't like it. So yeah, his intentions probably aren't pure. I'm not saying his word.
Okay, so you want me?
I'm
to be,
saying she's not flirting or anything. Like
No.
basically, you're at a bar, you see a girl, you're like, "Hey, go buy that girl a drink and let her know it's for me." Now she gets the drink. He points down. She's like, "Oh, hey." She comes over, talks. "Hey, I'm
going to
keep
be
this
sleeping
drink."
on the couch if I buy another girl a drink. I'm just saying.
Well, not you. I'm just saying, like
I know.
in this scenario, the guy just saw her.
So I would say you can have two sides of this.
I mean, you're not mad because she accepted it.
No, I'm not mad that you accepted it, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, thanks, but we need to get going. I don't feel comfortable around him. His intentions may be pure or not.
It's not pure.
It's not going to be pure because I'm sorry, I just mentioned what I just mentioned. No guy buys a
you're
girl a
not
drink
there.
without.
But you're not there.
But
she
I'm not
just
there.
tells you about it later. I accepted a drink from another guy, or like her friend just goes, "Oh, that guy was cute." Blah blah blah. And you're like, "What guy?" Like so somehow it gets back to you. Are you
Yeah.
mad that she accepted?
Well, I would say, given let's just say hypothetically it happens, I will talk to her about it. I'll ask. And then I mean, I trust her because I know nothing would happen. But at the same time, I'm gonna be alert around that person that bought her the drink.
Right. Yeah. If like now it's definitely a different story if like you're out or whatever. Someone buys her a drink and it's someone you know,
That's different.
or you ran into it, then you're mad at him.
Because if
You're mad at I would be a little bit mad at her accepting it because we know that guy.
right.
But at the same time, I would also think as a guy, oh, he knows that she's taken. Maybe he just wanted to buy her a drink because he's like, "Oh, hey, I see you. You're nice." Because maybe they didn't go together. They just ran into each other.
Right.
So it just depends who that person was to her that bought the drink. If it's an ex, no. If it's a friend of ours, mutual, then I probably wouldn't be too mad.
Yeah, I would.
Because his intentions are pure.
Yeah, because he's
But
just
for
like,
the
hey.
sake of what I was asking, yeah, his intentions aren't pure. What about you, Jake? Would you be mad if a girl that you're dating or get married to or whatever accepted a drink from another guy? Again, the guy doesn't know her, just thought she was beautiful. I'm happy that she did. Someone else thinks she's great looking.
I agree with you.
Now, again, now in
depends
this
on the
scenario,
situation.
she does nothing with the guy.
It
She
depends.
turns him down and everything.
To me, it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
If more comes out of it, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
To me, it depends on the
If she's
situation.
flirting to get more drinks, then yes, I'm mad because now you're leading them on. Now you're doing something to get more drinks.
Right. Right. Yep. And like, yeah, he brings up a good point. It just depends on the situation. It could be a mutual friend. Now I know they're just buying a drink. Like maybe he bought him a drink next, and then they made it even. And I'm
Right.
okay with that because if it's, I know that he's not trying to get with her, and she's not trying to get with him.
I would love to answer this question, but there is no WCW wrestlers.
That's why I laughed when I seen it.
So we're gonna go WWE wrestlers.
Favorite current WWE wrestler?
It says current WCW, but
But
there's
we'll go
no-
WWE.
We'll do WWE. We'll do. You know what? Current wrestler.
wrestlers.
AEW, TNA, WWE.
What,
Okay.
do they still have
And
Ring of
no,
Honor?
number one is not Joe Hendry for me.
What about
Number 2 is
what about Ring of Honor too? Can we do that?
I guess that could also fall in AEW since it's the same owners.
Right. He said what? TNA then.
Oh,
We're just
TNA.
We're just gonna do TNA then.
Okay, number one, Nick Namath, which is Dolph Ziggler.
Mustafa Ali.
Number two, Joe Hendry.
I don't know anybody in
Moose.
TNA.
Number three, Matt Hardy. Number four, Jeff Hardy.
Moose. Joe Hendry.
Actually, no, I'm changing it back. No, number one is Joe Hendry.
You got a stiffy for this dude, man.
Say his name and
Shut the
he
hell up.
appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
This mic in
Hey,
your
Jamal
mouth.
Williams even said it from the New York Saints, the New Orleans Saints. He goes, I just learned something today. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. And he goes, I hope that ruins everyone's algorithm. Or goes on everyone's
I'll
algorithm.
go Nick Nemeth, Moose, Joe Hendry, Matt Hardy, and
But Joe Hendry's a great wrestler. He's
Yeah.
on NXT and he's actually got the skills.
Speaking of TNA, did you see that
But if we're gonna go
the Rascals got betrayed?
yeah, by so TNA they had the Rascals and it was MSK or whatever in NXT, and Wes Lee went after him, who was part of it. He turned on him. He goes, "You left me alone for like 8 months or something, or 800 days or
left me
something like
alone."
that." So it was pretty cool. It's a great leg betrayal
Okay.
to bring in the TNA NXT agreement.
Agreement.
But I want to touch base on this before we go. I've heard that Shane McMahon might be going to AEW.
Ooh.
There is a theory that because of the bad news, Vince is sending Shane because they're mad at Stephanie and Triple H and they want to buy out AEW.
So
The McMahons could own AEW and go after WWE.
so it and that got some input back there. So is this actually a true angle?
I don't think so. So Vince Russo talked about it.
No, you can't believe everything he said.
I don't trust Vince Russo. He ruined WCW. Putting David Arquette as the world heavyweight champion.
Khan has more money.
True.
Khan does have way more money and doesn't need Vince's money.
No.
So, but if we're gonna go favorite wrestler right now, my favorite wrestler right now, and no, keep saying Joe Hendry, but it's not Joe Hendry. My favorite wrestler right now is AJ Styles.
Mine's Cody Rhodes.
Then it's Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, John Moxley, and then number 5 would have to be dude from Raw. Or no. LA Knight. Yeah, he's not Raw. He's SmackDown.
He's SmackDown. Okay.
Pure in ring. I think LA Knight's great. So those are my top 5 wrestlers
Okay. Current that are current on the roster right now.
of any roster.
Of any roster. Why are you looking at me? I don't have a top 5.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
So
go.
I'm gonna
You said so I
I
thought you were
said-
going.
I was just
Cody Rhodes be number 1. Randy Orton, LA Knight, Roman Reigns. Then I'm gonna go AJ Styles.
See, AJ to me, Orton's always one of my high favorites.
Right.
But AJ, I discovered him when I was in high school when TNA was 6 sides and all that other stuff. And this
Yeah,
dude could be an
XL
Olympic
Roman.
gymnast, the X division,
Right.
right? There was no limits. And I remember when they did that, there was no limits. And then Kevin Nash became X division. Stupid.
Right.
But like, you had the Ultimate X match hanging in and everything. Yes, you're right. LA Knight will never replace the Macho Man. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only reason he does it. But yeah, so I mean, the X division, AJ Styles is just a great high flyer. I know he came in WCW late, so he went to TNA. But to me, it was just watching it. It's like this dude's captivating. He does the Pele kick,
Yeah.
the soccer Pele backward. It's great.
Right. Yeah. Totally
So-
agree.
So, anything else going on?
No, I would say if you wanted to me to pick one wrestler that is my favorite right now, MJF.
Great pick.
That's my favorite. 'Cause
And what's
just-
great is he's a he's a Triple H. He's a great heel. He did the face character for a little bit. He's back to being heel.
Yep.
And he's just phenomenal. His whole thing is, I'm better than you, and you know it for his theme song. Great.
Yeah.
Another good underrated wrestler a lot of people don't know about in AEW is Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
He's got that.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got that little half thumb and his little kicks to the shin that doesn't hurt no one, and hands in the pocket. But then when he actually, he just shows his wrestling skill, great wrestling skills.
Yep.
But another like honorable mention for mine is John Moxley in AEW when his
Right there, Bray Wyatt, one of my top 5 of all time. If he was still alive, would definitely be current. Bray Wyatt, by far, character. He has to be close to number 1. The character, wrestling ability, mic skills, everything. He had the package.
One of the biggest things that Vince McMahon and everybody said about Bray Wyatt is that his English, like he could talk the backwards English, like back in the day English, like how Matt Hardy did with the whole broken or woken thing.
Which, by the way, broken.
That was awesome.
Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, the greatest.
Yes. The Woken Warriors.
The greatest.
The Mower of Lawn. Like everything backwards. But in order to do that, you have to get into that character. You have to get into your lines. Like we know it's choreographed and everything like that, but you have to make it what you make of it. And both of these guys, Bray Wyatt definitely did that.
You know who else did it? The Undertaker.
Yes.
He never broke character. When
No.
he was the Dead Man, he was the Dead Man. People tried to break him character when he became the American Badass because, okay, maybe he'll break it. He was never Mark Calloway. He was the Undertaker. If he was the American Badass, that's what he was. He was serious. If he was the Dead Man, that's what he was. He was serious. He was that 24/7.
Interesting story about the Undertaker. So he was wrestling for the Von Erichs.
I thought you were going to bring up WrestleMania.
No, the Von Erichs wrestling company. I think it was like WCCW. I think it was called.
Yeah, before that. Yeah.
And he got his big break because of Fritz thought he looked like his son David. It was like a few years after David died. And that's how he got his big break.
Mean Mark Calloway.
And that's how he got his big break in that wrestling company because he looked like his dead son David.
Wow.
But there's another thing back in the day of around that time, and I was watching this with Stone Cold and Vince McMahon when they were talking about their rivalry, and they're showing highlights and everything. And I went back and watched some of that stuff. You know how hard it is for somebody that doesn't have wrestling ability to pull that off? And it's the CEO of the company going out there and putting his top guy over.
Yeah.
How do you Vince McMahon's an asshole. We all know that. But he went out there, he put his ass on the line, put himself through a lot of pain and a lot of that just to get that extra $1 in his pocket and to get Stone Cold over. Like that takes a lot to do.
Funniest thing ever is when he tore both his fucking quads. That's the Royal Rumble. Funniest thing ever.
Yeah, and he couldn't get up. He had to sit down and direct everything.
Yeah, when he tore both his quads. That was funniest ever.
Yes, the 24th. As long as R-Truth has the 24/7 I-40 7-Eleven International.
Yes.
But how come it was this title? I watched some of it, like some of the highlights.
54-time champion.
54-time champion. And like nobody kicks out of the pin. Like you go ahead and pin him, nobody kicked out of it.
It's always the old school to roll up.
Yeah. Like Jinder Mahal was going on a golfing range and he just got rolled up and pinned
By a golfer or whatever. You got newscasters winning. You got hockey players.
It was awesome.
Exactly. This is like the best gimmick belt ever.
See, and when you're talking about Hall of Fame and stuff, always good rest.
Yes.
R-Truth has to go into the Hall of Fame for his gimmick.
Yes. I agree.
His comedy. I mean, this dude comes into a Royal Rumble with a ladder, goes up, where's the briefcase? He enters the woman's Royal Rumble. He thinks A-Town now is the Rock and Roll Express. He thinks DIY is Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Then he thinks Triple H and Shawn Michaels DIY.
Yeah.
This dude is hilarious.
He comes up with some of that stuff himself too. Like you got to, because writers can only go so far.
Well,
He's probably going out there and saying, you know what, let me do this. Like that one year he went into the Royal Rumble match. He comes in, like you're saying, comes in with a ladder. He's going for the briefcase.
He's like, where is it? Where is it? Another great moment is he goes out. You're not even in the match. I'm not. Are you sure, Kane? My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, Kane. Y'all have a good day.
He just leaves.
Well, like the tournament's going on for a week. He's like, you're not even in the tournament. I'm not. He's so confused. But
Little Jimmy.
a little Jimmy.
Oh my!
What are you talking about, little Jimmy? Y'all see little Jimmy? He screwed me. Or he says John Cena's his childhood hero when he's like 5 years older than John Cena.
When he
Or-
came down to the ring, when he was in that Cena rivalry back in like 2011, where he's going for the WWE title, he's like, "Y'all, this is a conspiracy against me because you don't want me to win the belt. Conspiracy. I can spell it C-O-N. Spiracy."
I also like when he was, I think it was like a Money in the Bank or like a ladder match for like 6-way for the title or something like that, scramble match. And Dolph Ziggler was talking, and Trish goes, Dolph, I will not be talking to a guy named after Flipper because of Dolphin.
Dolphin.
It made me like, did he just say that Dolph is named after a dolphin?
Right? And then him
See,
with
like,
him with the
speaking of-
Miz, it's funny
Oh,
as
it's
hell.
great.
Speaking of like John Cena, I like watching John Cena's old like gimmicks with like old school John Cena. And one of my favorite lines is when he was talking to Lita Edge, and he's like, "Oh, I shook her hand last week and she gave me gonorrhea."
Yes, that was great.
Funny
But
as
yeah,
hell.
The Miz and R-Truth gimmick right now is probably one of the best things going
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, it's great because they got this perception of Miz that he's a pretty boy, doesn't like to take face shots, but when he can get into comedy with R-Truth, like he has good chemistry with R-Truth in the past.
Oh, yeah.
With wrestling and everything like that. They were a tag team for a little while. They are now
With
and
the
I know-
conspiracy theory.
With the conspiracy theory, but like it reminds me a lot of Kane and Daniel Bryan. That was probably the worst pairing at the time.
Yes.
Team hell
No. Yes.
But they're in,
No.
that
Hug it out.
I was in tears laughing so hard watching Raw with
That
stuff.
therapist was great, by the way.
Yeah. I only watched it because that. I was wondering, what are they going to do this week? What are they going to? That's going to make you come back and watch it more. We just don't see that enough anymore. I don't think.
No, they
The
definitely
bloodline's
don't.
great. Don't get me wrong, but you want that comedy. You don't
That
want it.
bloodline is great, and the fact that Roman came back at SummerSlam was, and then Friday he came out with it's gonna be good.
And the fact that he doesn't ever break character, he still has that serious look on his face, and Sami Zayn's in there trying to make him laugh.
Oh, and he's laughing.
and he's laughing because Sami
I'm
Zayn.
sorry, he's not very oozy.
Yeah. Roman is just trying
Roman
everything he
just
can
started
not
laughing
to
like
laugh, and he just has to break down.
Even Solo
Yeah.
laughed. I
Yeah.
mean,
And you think before you go out there, I was like, you know what? This guy Roman never laughed. I'm gonna get him to laugh tonight. I don't care what anybody says. He can find me all you want. I'm gonna get him to laugh.
and speaking of laughing, I got my kids to eating with Jey Uso. So
What?
speaking of laughing,
Yeah.
I got my kids to go yeeting. They start yeeting with
Oh,
the Jey Uso thing.
Jey Uso thing.
Makes me laugh every time I said, "Let's eat yeet," and Zoe's always
Yeah.
So anyway,
So do you think does he get the Usos back together?
yes, I think the
Oh,
Usos come back together.
absolutely.
I don't know if it's gonna be with Sammy or whatever, but I think the Usos, because who knows what's going on with Jacob Fatu with the injury. But I think the Usos come back. I think
This
War
has to
Games-
be Survivor Series. That's
Survivor Series is
five
just
on
set up.
5. You can have
It's
Usos,
heavily rumored,
Cody Rhodes, and Kevin Owens to help Roman.
or Sammy
Brock
or Sami
Lesnar,
Zayn,
or Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
Speaking of the bloodline, that Zil Vatu will come and help Roman, but also on the other Sokola's side, that they have Tonga's old taller brother already signed into WWE. He could jump in just in case Fox is injured.
And I think you give the win to the lower guys, or at least have The Rock screw Roman over to set up some WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely. So, but on that note, anything else?
No, I think well, how's your girlfriend applications going? They're
Girlfriend
closed?
applications are officially closed.
Not taking any more?
I'm not taking any more
So
girlfriend
the
applications.
position has been filled. Maybe?
They're closed.
Okay. All right.
That's all I'm going to say right now. They're closed.
Okay, then we won't go any further on it.
But yeah, the position.
So we talk about we got a break next week, and we're going to come back the following Saturday.
Yes. So next week, you'll see some promos, maybe to remind people that we're on break. Things here and there. Again, not much is going on in the sports world, so I think it's a good break.
Yep.
This is a longer episode, but with it not being next week, I think it's good. And then the following week, we will be on Saturdays now.
Yep.
And I think that week, college football will be starting.
Yep.
The
Yep.
24th. So we'll have some
have
college
the-
games to maybe talk about.
We'll have a
Florida
Georgia
State,
Tech.
I think, and Georgia Tech
Tech,
are
we
on
mentioned
the
that.
23rd. So we'll definitely talk about that game.
Yep.
Since Florida State's up there, we'll see how they do against pitiful Georgia Tech.
the Yellow Jackets.
Remember when they were something?
Right.
And then we could 3 years.
We also got. Do we have any more spots to fill for the fantasy football league?
Oh yeah, fantasy football league. So our Saturday show, we'll announce how many people are in. Right now we got 7. We're
Got
looking
7.
for at least one more.
At least.
If we can get one more, then we want to get up to 10, but at least to 8. We'll create the league. I'll send out a promo or a video for that. We'll create the league this week, so that way I can update you how many there are. That Saturday will be we'll probably do the draft on live podcast, so we'll probably do it for that Saturday. So that Saturday should be the draft, actually, the 24th.
Okay.
We'll talk a little bit of sports while we're doing the draft. When it's our turn, we'll write it down and stuff like that. We'll draft our players.
Draft our players while we do the podcast. It's awesome.
Why not?
And we can. Could we?
We give
actually
live feedback on the draft.
We get live feedback on the draft. We'll have to make sure everybody's watching that night that it's in it.
That's in it, yeah.
If they can, I mean, I don't know if they.
As long as they can get on the draft, that'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fine with us.
If you can't get on the draft and the podcast, that's fine. Go watch our feedback on your
I was
picks
gonna say
later.
we may have to hire some help to keep up with the picks.
So
we have like a big board behind us.
a big board.
It would be like
But yeah, so we'll do
hire an
that.
inflatable Roger Goodell to know.
So sometime this week, I'll create the video and stuff like that, and I'll create, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll see where we're at. So right now, I think we got 8. I think another person just 7.
7. We got 1. We may have one more. I think you said.
Yeah,
But
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. College will be going on. The NFL will be about week 3, so wrapping up preseason at that
Yeah,
point.
because I think after the first, so not the first week of college football, because that's week 0, but the following week it will be one more week of college football, and then you go into the NFL. I think like the second week.
So
of
we can
September.
probably do a little thing on our teams, like Wisconsin's playing, Michigan's playing. If there are cupcake teams, maybe we'll look at some of the big games going on for week 1, and then obviously when we come back that following Saturday, we can kind of do a little recap. Do a little live. Hey, this is what's going on with this team. I mean, these Saturday
any
shows,
big games,
any big games. These Saturday
talk about
shows.
what Pat McAfee talked about online.
Okay, I don't know why I did but the Saturday show has a lot of potential now because we could actually look at what's going on with college football, kind of keep eyes on, like you're saying, the big games that are going on that night, other games that went on during the day. It smells like somebody farted in here, so it's time to go.
Guys have excuses.
So, but yeah, other than that, you guys
Like and subscribe.
and we'll have a good night. We'll see you not next Saturday, but the following
We'll
Saturday.
see you in
the
13
24th.
days.
24th, I believe.
Yes, 24th.
Yeah.
Are you gonna click end?
Yes, yes, yes.
We're looking on the